Meow. Meow. Shubidi boobop.
Oh, you like that crescendo?
Yo. Hey.
Mama.
Hey.
Mama. Meow. Meow.
I be
Meow, meow,
bold. I
meow.
do what I told. She is getting bold. I just took a poll.
Dude, I've heard that
Take a
beat
whole
so
what?
many times that now I'm just like, it's not that bad.
No, it's not bad.
It never
bad.
was bad.
You just were not satisfied with in the beginning. You wanted some real slapper. Some real knee slapper.
I want something Drake could get on.
Well, welcome everybody to the greatest podcast on earth, the Almost Never podcast. I'm your host, Josh.
My name's Trey.
I'm Sean.
Welcome to fall, everyone. How you guys doing? How you guys doing today? We're touching on a couple things.
I'm feeling
Dane.
good. It's cold, kind of, though, man.
I got
to be honest.
Flannel? I was so stoked.
You're back to your final form?
My final form, yeah. My final form. Fall would be my final form, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suiting up with Sean.
Yeah.
Suiting up with Sean.
But I'd have to have suits.
I'm in a tank top.
That's
or
your
just
final
suits
form?
of sorts.
Suits and
of
shorts.
Suits of sorts.
Suits of sorts. That works.
Say that.
We're just thinking of
3
like
times
little channel titles for
New endeavors.
Sean. You guys keep an eye out. Tea Time with Trey.
Tea Time with Trey is going to be coming to you guys soon. It's going to be hilarious. I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
He's also humble, if you didn't know.
Nah, not really.
Yeah, I know.
Kinda, sorta.
We're working on mine. I don't know. It's workshopped.
I mean,
Workshopping.
we got a lot of names we can work with.
Get sloshed with Josh.
Slosh with Josh.
Jerking with Josh.
Ooh.
Is that just making jerk chicken?
Yeah, that's
And
exactly
while,
what it was.
while masturbating.
Yeah. But yeah, this week we
I'm
got
already shiny.
we got to talk about Lillard. We got conversations about Lillard. We got conversations about Tupac's murderer.
Oh, my goodness.
We
We're
got
talking about Trey's favorite musician,
Tay-Tay Swift.
T Swift, and her just the T Swift effect.
Just the T of us.
I want to find the male. We should talk about the male equivalent of the T Swift.
Mitch
There
McConnell.
is none. It was Barack first term.
I guess you could say it's kind of
Barry.
Trumpy.
Barry.
Trump.
It is a
This
little
an-
Trumpy.
this is an
Trumpy, yeah.
analogous.
Wait, do you think she's just
Oh
actually?
shit! Hold on.
What happened? Oh, do you think she's just
Oh, no.
Oh. All right, we're all good. Yeah, maybe she's just getting ready for her presidential what do they call it when they
Campaign? Run?
Yeah, when they announce yourselves, announcement. Taylor Swift for president. You probably get all the white girls,
Oh, for sure.
and then their husbands would have to vote for them because if they found out that they didn't,
100%.
They
Dude,
get
she's
disowned.
Like, she's
Yeah.
Queen White. She's like the White Queen.
That's the name of a Marvel character.
Oh, I was trying to think of the one
I
from
was
the
thinking
Game
of-
of Thrones. I don't know what they call it. The Snow Queen or something. I never
That's
watched
the.
you mix two things together. But I
She's
see
the
what
White
you're doing.
Walker.
She does walk.
Was
and
it like
she
the
is
Winter
white.
King or what's his name?
Yeah,
Night King?
something like
The
that.
Night King.
Night
She's
King.
the Night King.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how was your guys' week? How you doing?
How you do? I'm doing good, dude. The week was treacherous, though. I'm not gonna lie. Doing some bullshit, you know.
What was the
Restoring-
most tretch?
I don't know. I was restoring a horse trailer, and I don't really care for horses, so.
Marley won't like to hear you say
No.
that.
I don't not like horses like that. Like I wouldn't eat the meat or anything like that.
Not even if it's like end of day scenario, you're not gonna eat the meat.
No, I would rather ride a horse.
Save a cowboy. So you're just doing some counting down the days over there at your job?
Basically, just chill it. I mean, yeah. I mean, we're getting everything like up to snuff that hasn't ran in like 30 years, so that we can sell it.
I'm just every week I'm just asking Trey. So, what part of LA are you gonna move to? What are you thinking? I'm thinking Echo Park, probably most likely.
I don't know if I can work in East LA, maybe somewhere. I don't know, closer over here.
Maybe you guys be
Yeah.
roomies, perhaps. 'Cause
Yeah.
Sean, when are you moving to LA? You know, what's your timeline?
Probably the beginning of the new year.
Sounds good.
I think Trey and actually we talked about briefly.
Yeah, because that's kind of when I need to move.
It's lined up.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically once I get back from Costa Rica, it's time to
I got-
boogie.
Speaking of, you
I
buy
got fans
your
that goes in
ticket.
the-
You
I knew for it, yeah.
okay? So that's a no. But
So almost.
That's, I will.
He's on his way.
Yep.
He is on his way to it.
Way closer steps have been taken, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Sean? Are you?
Ooh,
Sorry,
beat me
I
to
cut
it.
you off. Yeah.
Well, you are
but
the host.
You survived. You survived. Like you just launched a. I don't want to be
Ooh.
presumptuous, but you launched a broken product this week.
Sheesh. Is it like, what was that
So,
NASA
like,
rocket that didn't make it?
A lot of
one?
them.
The one with the
Challenger?
Yeah.
You
the
launched
one
your
with the-
Challenger.
Yeah, basically, it blew up. Everyone was like, ooh, that wasn't good. Yeah. You ever, like, when people say, like, you did something and you want to take your name out of, like, the you portion, people be like, your software. I'm like, that's not mine.
You're
Oh,
genocide.
Yeah, no,
Like,
this isn't me.
Yeah, I'm like, no. Like, I started, like,
But
saying,
it is you.
kinda.
You're part of the team.
But that was the thing. It's a great point. So, like, we released the software. It wasn't ready. I talked to my QA dude, my product owner, and they were both like, yeah, we've been telling everybody it's not been ready, so it wasn't ready. And that's, and then people say, like, oh, your thing. And I was like, damn, this, like, my name's on this.
You get lumped in regardless of.
Yeah. And then you start
Input.
thinking, like, your name's on it. And, like, for me, I'm like, is this like what I want to be doing to have my name on it? Do I want to be like stressing this much on something that I don't care about? And then the answer was like, no, clearly. But it was a bad week. It wasn't fun.
You worked on Sunday, so
Worked on
This is
Sunday.
like a six days straight.
Did
Yeah.
you work on Sunday, though?
Yeah,
I know you worked on Sunday.
I did.
But since your salary, did you work on Sunday? You just helped out a little extra.
I mean, I worked.
If I'm saying the company would be like, you just helped
I
us
can
out.
neither confirm nor deny
You're
my
like,
role.
thank you
Thank
for
you.
your.
Yeah, you went above and beyond.
I mean, I was in the office on Sunday.
Oh,
That
you worked.
sucks.
So
I
I
thought it'd be from home.
No, I had to go there.
You had to put in the
Ugh,
security code, turn the alarm off.
It was already done.
Yuck.
I just showed up
Damn, you guys be doing that on the weekends? You go work over there?
for camp.
Fuck.
Crunch
Well, that's
time.
what we had to do. Yeah, so it launched on Monday. It's broken. Tuesday broken. People couldn't do stuff, and then it shut down on Tuesday. Down Wednesday. Down Thursday.
I thought you said downwind.
I mean, it might as
Stay.
well been. And then on Friday it went back up. But like, first thing, it's embarrassing. Second thing, like, you as an employee of a company, like, if you're putting your life into it and you're building your livelihood off it, there is a sense, hopefully, like, that you think to yourself, like, all right, like, how much do I trust this company, this leader, and with my livelihood, with, like, you know, the money I'm making and how long. And I was just sitting there and I was like, I don't trust it at all. Like, I don't. And so it's a bit of a depressing week in that sense, because, like, it was humbling and sobering, because, you know, I think it's really easy to get caught up in something that's just there. Like, it's easy to be like, I have a job. The job does this thing. I get the money. I pay for the things. It gives me the stuff. And, like, I think for a lot of people, it's easy to be like, all right, like, why am I going to shake or rock the boat? I have a job. But in these scenarios, I think asking yourself, if you maybe have the privilege to ask yourself, like, is this really where I want to be giving my energy and time to something like this? And, like, the answer for me was like a full-fledged, like, no, it's not. But then, like, the question is like, okay, so what you can do about it?
Well, you were saying before, like, or just right before that, is like, you're thankful that you have a job, but it's like, that's kind of how the system kind of, you should be grateful even if you're at a job you hate, type of thing.
It does, yeah. Like, I think a lot of, like, the way that, I don't know if it's like boomers and Gen Xers that, like, kind of, like, you know, we were trained and raised under, that gave you that the mentality of, like, you should be grateful for a job. And I'm not gonna, like, deny the fact that there is gratitude to be had for a job. Like, if you have a job, and, like, my job, by all means, I wouldn't be sitting here and being like, they don't give me, like, you know, care about me, or like, give me, like,
Pays your
benefits.
bills and, like, you know,
Yeah.
allows you to live comfortably.
Totally. And then there's the other, like, question, I think, is more of, like, a personal question, which is like, all right, like, is this, like, for me, like, I'm like, is this challenging me? Is this where I want to be? Do I see growth? Like, is this, like, realistically serving me? Which I think maybe is also still a question of that requires some privilege, but that was like a no, you know. And it's just like, And it's crazy because then the other thing is like, it's easy to look at yourself and be like, well, why the fuck aren't you trying to do something else? You know, like, why are you waiting around? Like, for like, ultimately, why are you waiting around for the ship to go down for finally you to jump off the ship? Like,
Going all Titanic on it.
you know,
Molly Brown.
Yeah, and like, you know, you want to be Jack. Don't get jacked. For real, be Rose.
Well, it's certainly challenging you, like your mental, like it's making you mentally fragile if with all this undue stress.
Fuck yeah. I was like stress balled up. Like, I mean, I don't know how it would have felt without having like Prozac, because you can always feel like when it kicks in, like the areas where you realize like I'd be crazy stressed right now, and your body kind of just like isn't. So I don't know like if I'd feel different, but my sleep was fucked up this week. Just because like you could just tell that like there was extra like stress in the body, and like that to me is just not worth it. Like, but it's weird because then I say that, and then I think about things like interest rates and you know, paying back like student loans, and I think about like strikes, and I think about like all the different and like the housing market and all the certain like things that like can really fuck up like your personal like income in the larger economy. And I'm like, well, that sometimes is also the hard part, is like, how do you jump ship when there's such volatility?
Well, yeah, that's kind of it can be applied to many different things, but I think you can call it whataboutism. Like, what about this? What about that? Like,
yeah,
if you say like, I suppose you could say like Black Lives Matter, then it's like, what about everyone else? And it's not about that. You still have to, like, your point of view is still valid, especially within your own lived experience. You just have to be aware of everything else going on, but you don't have to put as much energy into that. You just have to, like you said, keep yourself afloat mentally, physically. Everything.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys believe in like personal,
space.
No, like legacies. Like I've never really thought about it too much. Like, I've never really cared about people knowing my name or passing on my name or anything like that. But like more and more recently, I have thought about like, all right, if I'm putting like blood, sweat, tears, energy, life, like into something, like, do I want it to be under somebody else's name where I don't give a shit about their product? Really, I don't really give a shit about like what we're doing as in like the world. Like, do I want that, or would I be happier putting my energy and time into something that I care about, with the possibility of making less?
You do have somewhat of a legacy right now of Die Queen Die, and you guys have a couple of online fans that follow you. I wonder if they listen to the pod, but shout out to, where'd that guy live? Oslo. Norway.
Yeah.
Shout out. Is he Scandinavian?
I think so.
Scandinavian.
Would it be better if you could work anonymously under a job?
I don't think it changes the knowledge of what you know you're doing.
I think in certain situations, you already feel anonymous, no matter like your inputs.
No, like how
and
you
like
were saying, like people were telling you like your software is broken. You could.
Oh, you mean like not knowing? Yeah.
Not my president,
totally,
not my software.
Totally.
Not my software.
Well, what's funny about that is
I'm Seanbot. I'm not real.
I literally, I just started some of my responses back was I was like the development team, not my development team, but because I'm just like. Like, I'm not trying.
See what happened? The man,
for real. Well, because
it's the man's development team, not my own.
I mean, part of me in that scenario though is like, no, I don't want to put my name on that shit. Like,
well,
I just don't.
You want to be proud of something to put your name on.
100%.
It's a stamp.
100%.
And it might not be a legacy, but it's still your output of the fruits of your labor.
Yeah. Like, it's weird when like. I didn't think about it too much until this week, really, where I'm like, man, like a lot of these people know me around, like,
legacy is all we got, man.
Like, yeah.
I mean, but what is that
it's
even
not
worth?
All we got, but I mean, up to some people, it's worth a lot.
Yeah,
some people really put money on the idea of a legacy.
John
their
Cena.
Legacy is actually worth a lot. So to some people, legacy is worth a lot.
Yeah, totally.
Like a Ford or Rockefellers or Rothschilds. Legacy is Kennedy's. Legacy holds something.
Well, I think that's not even legacy. That's like
that is legacy.
It is, but that's tied to like generational wealth.
That's legacy.
Yeah.
But
well, then that's
yeah.
like it's wealth.
That's
It's
legacy.
wealth. Yeah.
But I like
If you
also.
can sustain and know 4 generations, you
Yeah.
you probably had enough.
Your
to-
name is
Like the
is
like the
legacy.
Kennedys.
Yeah.
It's legacy.
Well, like I think
A lot
about
of it's
people
bullshit,
too.
though.
Like, you have like I would kind of put Jay-Z and Kanye in the realm of legacy for a new age at this point because
Oh yeah, their legacy.
Yeah.
But
not because like I feel
no, they're not. Like 50 Cent isn't legacy. 50
no,
Cent's legacy.
I'm not saying I'm just saying that their kids
Oh,
are
yeah,
off
yeah,
of their
yeah.
name,
Their legacy.
their legacy.
Blue Ivy.
Yeah.
All the West.
All the West is like that's what I
Mr.
mean.
West.
Like I
West
feel like
Kardashians. They straight.
yeah,
Oh,
they're, like,
Kardashians in general.
But like
Yeah.
you're saying that now, so in 3 generations, West will actually have meant something if these people still run.
100%.
That's how
100%.
legacy.
Yeah.
That's legacy.
yeah.
Does Travis Scott have a son, or is it just daughter?
That too. I don't know.
I thought one
maybe
was
a one.
daughter. No?
Maybe have one of each.
They should name it his son Great
Great
Scott.
Great
That's pretty
Scott.
cool, right?
R.I.P.
Jason's band.
Yeah.
Great Scott.
Like for you guys though, you get to work directly in at least like your skill set. Now, I don't know if that ever like meets like I don't know like when it comes to the fulfillment that you receive doing your own artwork in comparison to the fulfillment that you get from your job. I don't want to say that they're the same thing, but at least like with your work, do you feel like what you do is at least aligned with, or like you feel confident?
Yeah, I mean, I think with personal work, it comes down to personal artwork that I put out. A lot of the times, like 80% of the time after the fact, I'm like, I finish it and I hate it because I see all the things I wanted to do that I didn't or I couldn't do. Whereas with like my job, it's more because it's super collaborative and it gets tossed around a lot, seen by committees and stuff. It's a lot more, I wouldn't say fulfilling, but satisfying in what it's intended to do. It fills its role. So it's rarely is it like, oh, I hate that. I hate that they chose this and that's what's going to stores and stuff. But in general, it's more satisfying, I think, since I get to work creatively. I'm grateful for that.
Could you see yourself doing it
No,
in 10 years, 15
probably
years?
like 5.
5? And then you feel like something would have to change.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, maybe work part-time and do something else. Just I think I always like to hop to certain things, be somewhat of a renaissance man, and even with art, I never liked to stick to like printmaking or painting or illustration. Like I always like to hop between the different things, spend some time here, do something else for a couple years, then hop back to the other thing. Just keep myself interested.
I'm still waiting for your audio erotica, by the way.
I need to follow up on that.
What do you think gets in the way for either of you? What do you think gets in the way most of you, like putting out like things that are outside your job, like the things that you enjoy that you care about? What do you think gets in the way the most of like giving those out to the world?
Probably life,
Myself.
as in myself, the job,
Direct-
my regular life.
You think it's like time? Because I hear you saying like regular life, so if it's regular life time, but you say yourself, is that to mean like a character or a character quality?
No,
You're your own biggest critic. I think, at least for me, afraid of failure, so you don't even start.
Is that for you?
Definitely have
Sometimes.
stuff, just never want to fully finish stuff.
Which I feel like it can tie into like, oh, it's not I don't like it at this stage, so nobody will like it, or I don't want to put it out. Somewhat of a fear of failure, more of failing yourself, I think, more than people not liking, because I think people would like it, but
even when I put stuff out, it's like the same. I don't know. I feel like it's always the same. But even when I put stuff out, it's just like, hopefully people like it.
Do you think about failure? I don't know.
Yeah,
if
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm a.
you never
constant
voiced it
failure.
though.
You think you're a closet failure?
Constant.
Oh, constant.
failure.
I was like,
Yeah.
what's that? For real?
Uh-huh.
Anything specific or just in general?
Just of what my capabilities are. I always fall short.
Because I think you're very self-confident. Is that a little bit of a facade then? If you're constantly thinking about failure?
Yeah.
appreciate the owning up because I
thanks for that.
I feel that too.
Yeah, I think all the jokes and stuff. Yeah, for sure. That's a little bit of a
Deflection.
Yeah.
Not a NUFO deflection. It's a trade deflection.
Yeah, no, just be like, yeah, because I never feel like the best I can be.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely relate to that, like in terms of like perfectionism and like so many things that no one will ever know about that have like been started, and I'm just like, oh no, it's not it, and then like it's not even like there's any space for it to kind of see the light of day, and sometimes I'm just like, like no, that's not gonna be.
I think I low-key only put out stuff when it's like that 10% of me wants people to know I do stuff. Because most of the time, I don't care if people know I do stuff or don't know stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like that 10% of the time, I was like, dang.
These people don't know.
These people don't know.
What I feel like when you were still living in San Clemente and we visited you, your brother, me, and Trey.
Oh yeah.
And you played that stuff. That was the first.
Yeah.
You never put that out.
No.
And that was like the first thing where I was like, I liked your music before, but I was like, on first listen, I was like, I love this.
No,
and then
like, yeah, but I don't put out music for anyone. That's why I don't put out stuff. But when I do, it's just to be like, I do this.
Yeah, but I felt like you were proud of that stuff because you.
Oh no, I'm proud of everything I do, but I don't do the next push to get it done.
Is that you getting in the way of yourself then?
No, I feel like that's me trying to be like how you were saying, like how I like to move on to stuff. I feel like I like to be a jack of all trades. So like once I learned production good enough, then I stopped caring about making beats and then learned how to like craft songs. But then once I learned how to craft songs, I was like, well, I can strengthen other stuff, but I just keep on hopping around.
Because you want to like, oh, I got this now.
Yeah,
but that
so
stuff,
like,
I really liked it, but it wasn't.
Exactly.
The individual components weren't up to the standards I have now.
I keep on leveling up, and it's like at some point you have the full puzzle, but it's still not all the pieces are connected.
Do you ever feel like there is a full puzzle? Like, do you think like because like I would say since I've known you.
No, because it's always evolving.
Yeah, because I'd say you went from just being a guitarist to a songwriter, and then from a songwriter to a full song, like an actual full songwriter.
Then I took up production.
Yeah.
Then try to learn how to rap.
Yeah, and then record.
Then
like the recording was like a full thing.
Engineering.
And
that's kind of where I am now. So it's like, but that's what I'm saying. Once you have all those pieces, now I'm like, I feel really creative. I just haven't.
Do you also
put it all
like
down together?
I feel this a lot with not wanting to get stuck into one niche because I'm like, fuck, if I do that, then the other things are never going to get done. And I know it's like a story, but I still tell myself that. And I know that a lot of people don't know about you is that like you can create like furniture, like and you've created lights, you've created like all
kind of different things. Yeah,
I mean, you've created motorcycles.
You created like speakers, like monitors, and.
But like since I was a kid, though, like I built my first guitar when I was 16 out of solid mahogany.
It's the heaviest guitar.
Yeah, so it's like I've always liked to build stuff. So it's like, but yeah, no, it's like, but with building, I could see the end product way faster.
Yeah, I sometimes I don't know a better word, so I'll use envy. Sometimes I envy people that are perfectly fine with doing their thing, and then they're just like, "This is my thing."
And that's it.
And that's all they'll ever do. Because I'm like, that's cool. Like you decided, and your brain was like, I'm okay with this. This was what I'll do. And like sometimes for me, that's just not.
I'm always chasing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever be satisfied doing anything. To be 100%, like
I feel that too. I think I can that resonates with me in that I.
It's like anything I can get to a certain point, and it's like, okay, I'm not gonna. I would say better than most. And then I'll be like, well, I'm better than most.
What does that mean?
Yeah, just
it's not
learn
genius.
something else.
It's not genius level. So
because now the threshold is like crazy. So for me to be at here, I really have to dedicate my whole life, and I ain't gonna do that. Yep. So I'm better than most. Learn something else.
But that's still like kind of.
It is a cop-out.
Not really, but like that's still like it's you getting in the way of you.
Of course.
Of like comparing yourself to others.
Comparison is like what the theft of joy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like it's funny because I agree and I relate to that. I think it's super easy to be in the top 20%. I think it's easy for a lot of things. I think it's really easy to put a little bit of time and you're like, oh yeah, I'm at least in the top 20%. But then to get up to the top, you're like,
That's where
Is
the
that-
whole life's work comes in.
Top 20%
Yeah.
of podcasting. That wouldn't
that's
be
the
too
type
bad,
of
though.
shit too
I'd be
that
happy
that
with
was driving me crazy when everyone was launching their master classes like around COVID. I'm like, how have you been only doing this for 3 years and you're launching a master class? Like, I just don't understand how that works.
Master
like,
is like genius, you know? Who knows?
But like that to your point, like that means that there's no master. Like, what do you mean? You can't be you're a master?
They've learned enough to teach the common
people,
folk that
100%.
don't know it.
100%.
So to the common person, they have a lot more information on this one subject.
I mean, not even to a master level, but when you're a teacher's aide, like you seem way more knowledgeable
Oh, that
enough
is
to,
true,
to
actually.
show other people.
Yeah.
I would do that. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
barely know shit. I know the basics, but
Think about it. Most people don't do a lot of things. So even if you put a year into something, that's more time than someone
straight
that
up.
just I haven't. You know, it's like, I don't know what that is. You
Yeah.
put a year into freaking anything, you're gonna be pretty okay.
yeah, exactly.
If you really put a year into it,
Exactly. And like,
pretty okay.
that's like when everyone always says like, I'm just going to take learning guitar or piano. I'm not saying you're going to be amazing, but if you do put 10 minutes in every single day and then you just like kind of grow on that within a year,
You'll be pretty
you'll be pretty
okay.
good.
You'll be pretty okay.
you'll be able to at least play
Top
one or two
20%.
songs. I would
But-
think so.
Because most people can't do it when
Yeah.
you think about it. Yeah,
Exactly.
It's like, people can. No, yeah.
What do you guys think, like, because you kind of touched on it with like this, like, never feeling like satisfied in a sense. Like, when have you guys felt satisfied? Like, when do you know, like, in a scenario recently or like in general with your work where you've been like, I'm satisfied with that?
No, but I've been intrigued with progress,
In what?
your interest is
like the
peaked.
podcast. Yeah,
Yeah. That, I was about to say, like, I get it from like my career, but sometimes and then sometimes after recording, I'm like, oh, that was really good. I really like that. We hit on a lot of good points.
Yeah.
Had good, solid conversation. Creatively, I've been stagnant, so I can't say I've gotten fulfillment from that and like satisfaction. But other things, sexually.
I was going to ask you, because you've dated, you focused a lot of time in your life to like date and like you learn from it. Was there a sense of satisfaction that came from that where you were like, I'm learning and growing?
I mean, I've really only dated like the past, I guess now year and a half before I started dating Marlene. I did learn a lot because that was my first time being like single, because I was a serial monogamist and jumping from relationship to relationship.
What flavor were you?
I was Baskin Robbins, I'd say. Oh, you mean it before?
I mean,
Of
cereal.
serial monogamy.
Yeah, I was thinking you're like a Captain Crunch or like a Fruit Loops.
I don't know, what is Mexican girls? What is that? What?
Ooh, you were Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It is the best though. So
But yeah, then I learned just from dating. I learned what I kind of like, what I wanted in a partner, what I didn't like, and then after therapy, I was able to see kind of anxious behaviors and attachment styles, what you call red flags. Don't date actors.
I've heard that.
Yeah,
I've
it's
definitely
true.
heard
I everybody told me before, and then I'd still try and prove it wrong. But
You just never know if they're acting.
well, I think it was a lot of
It
it
makes
was
the game a lot more fun.
a lot of it was
To who?
everyone.
Let me put you in the game.
I mean, you'll
Put
think
you
it's
in
fun until you realize they've been acting the whole time, and you're like, "Fuck,
Well,
I've been played."
I think it's the constant
Can you go on
need
strike
for
then?
validation.
The writers do. What happens if you date?
Oh, I
an
think it's
actor-
only get worse.
What happens if you date an actor and the writers go on strike? Does her material get dry?
She doesn't know how to act.
I mean,
When you were sorry, I pulled you away, but like because now you're dating Marlene, do you feel like you needed that year and a half basically of like that learning and growth? Would you call that learning and growth like a
Yeah.
sense of creativity
For
for your
sure.
like, social creativity?
I don't know about creativity is the word I would choose, but definitely learning and growing. It's a lot of knowledge. A lot of it is not even about other people. It's more about myself, I think, more than anything. I
What have you learned?
I mean, like
You beat me
before,
to
I
it.
was
I
always
wanna-
I was always dating like younger women, like and although that's fun for a little bit, but then I think like I think the oldest person I was dating was like 12 years older than me, and that was like I think that was a little too far out of my realm, but I was like, oh, I think like I like the maturity.
50?
Yeah,
That's what
she
I
was
was
like
wondering.
49, 50.
I mean, there's some hot 50s though. Like
No, there's a lot. Like,
Yeah.
no, there's a
Way
lot.
to pick
Like
it, I'd
late,
take it
late,
down.
late 40s. Like, no, like more than like just the people you see on the street, like walking by, like you wouldn't guess their age. Like, no, they're great. I think just the life experience really, and
Did
ways you
anything
can
else feel
connect.
50?
No. What I think you're hinting at was,
referring to.
well, I mean, women reach their sexual peak in their 40s, I believe. Like where men is supposedly in their 20s.
Not necessarily emotion, more physical touch. Did anything feel 50?
No, like that's what I'm saying. Like I think it's women are geared to like stay. I mean, I don't want to like stereotype, but like it feels like if you know how to activate these things, it's like, oh,
I was meaning like hands and neck and stuff.
oh, I mean, like appearance wise, yeah, you could say that. Like, but
Like, if when you held the hands, did it feel like a skeleton?
Oh my god.
oh well, you're just
Christ.
you're just mean. I think right now.
Do you think an LA 50 is like a Louisiana 30? Like,
LA 50 is like an Ohio 12.
You're just
Years
throwing
old?
out way.
What's wrong with
crazy
you,
shit.
bro?
Flip flopped.
You could call it that.
An LA 12 is like an Ohio 50. So an LA 50.
Well, we're talking about ages. I think you're talking.
I'm talking about
like,
ages,
yeah.
not numbers.
Oh,
Oh no, he was talking about.
No,
he's
you
talking
were
about
talking
ages.
about ages.
Yeah, let's not get you. Let's not get you under
Master-
investigation.
I
or
just
something.
meant like, yeah, like, did they feel different?
Well, yeah, obviously, yeah. Like, I mean, I'm incredibly shallow. I'll admit that.
I'm trying
But-
to get around that. Yeah.
No,
shallow trait.
I'm shallow, and I very much need a physical attraction to have like a
Yeah.
That's what I'm
emotional.
saying. Were you slapping
thing.
a flappy booty? What's going on?
No, they're not like. I'm shallow. I wouldn't date like B. Arthur or something, or like.
50-year-old.
Yeah, would you?
I
what's-
don't know. I haven't had 50. Even J Lo, she's 50. She looks nice, but
But no, you're talking about like
Things
celebrities
would
and stuff. I'm like,
things
like
would still feel funny.
I mean, you don't have to be 50 to have things feel funny, man.
yeah,
You're
like there's
absolutely
people who are like
Well,
30.
duh.
I'm just saying, like,
Like
Yeah,
I
the
like
age doesn't
with
really-
with my shallowness, I would like on Hinge and stuff. I would be like looking at people, like
You said no
looking at
funny
women
business.
who are like 30 and they look, and like I'm Asian, so like don't raisin, but like they looked older than me, and and that shallow part of me is like, no,
What's
I
the
don't want you
youngest
to.
passed for.
This is
You?
probably like a few years ago, like 24.
Right,
This is
yeah.
probably like 5
Yeah.
years ago though, like
Damn.
still like 10 years younger than I am.
This podcast has a expiration date, but only for me.
Why?
Black don't crack, Asian don't raisin, white.
You can lean on the
Why you put
the
yourself in a box, Sean?
Arab side of you.
You
Arab
gotta put
don't.
yourself in a box. We're all
Scarab?
people. We don't see color.
I see color. I don't know. What
I see.
don't
Oh,
know.
yeah. I can't not see color. Oh,
But yeah, like in terms of looks and feel, like no, like
So she looked like she was 30 something.
yeah, I'd say so. Probably like late 30s for sure.
I'm just saying she didn't look 50.
But there was like I would like date women that were like a few years older than me, and it's like no, they're I think, and it sounds cheesy, but like I appreciated the confidence that comes with life experience, like somebody who was say
You're raising 13-year-old
40
kids. Probably older.
No, I mean there's a lot. I think a lot of people. There are a lot more people that are older without children these days, but like
Yeah.
ones that are like early 40s, mid 40s, like no, they're fucking beautiful, better shape than me, and like no, like they're. I think
Why do you
it's just nice opening up your horizons. I think that's what I learned. I learned not to stay within these parameters that I somehow defined for myself when I was in my 20s, and then I would stick to that. And I was like, why? Like I've grown since in the last 2, 3, 4 years, so why are my mental expectations of myself or other people. Why are they staying
you
there?
just lowered your standards.
No, I think I have higher standards more than ever.
Do you think like your standards in terms of like like
Still shallow.
no, but like the mental emotional side, because you touched on like there is a certain portion about like age, which is like I'm not saying that just because you're older you're wiser, but age does give you more life experience, and I think that's what you said.
Yeah, I don't
So
I don't
there is
necessarily translate wisdom, but it could be. You could also say it's wisdom, just because I think I think it's also like if you've lived a bit of a sheltered life, even if you are whatever age, I think going through some shit, good and bad accomplishments, defeats, I think that adds to your character. And I don't know, I think that's very attractive as a person, just to be able to learn from previous experiences and like let yourself grow. I think that's like a really attractive thing, and like that's intangible, but I think that's more important for me now rather than like, oh, they're cute and they like me, so I'll like, let's date. It'd be like, now it's like I think the standard is a lot higher, since I know what I want, since I know what I expect from myself, I know what I can expect in other people.
Mm-hmm. Dude, congratulations on that, by the way. I don't think like that, knowing what you want, to being able to like know what you desire from people, what you want to stay as expected, like it's not like a small thing. I think a lot of people run around this world like not knowing that, so that's why they hop from relationship to relationship, because really they don't necessarily know what they want.
I just know I want a bad bitch.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But what does that mean?
Well,
like, what is the context for that?
Also,
Hold on.
Means a lot to me.
Let's unpack.
Let's unpack that. Well, you might, and like here's the other thing: you get that bad bitch. She's bad, but like she's one of the most annoying people in the world. Like, you know, like there's characteristically, like the bad bitch part ain't gonna keep you around.
Because bad bitch seems like, what does that? Does that mean like looks? Is that career, or like what does that entail
I don't
for
know.
you?
Yeah, maybe she can't cook.
That's okay. There's Grubhub.
Well, I mean, and I'm not saying that women have to cook, but
Kind of did.
no, I was gonna go on longer, but then
That was your first example.
that was my first example. Although
Freudian slip.
Although I would say whether somebody's into, you know, whoever you're into,
Yeah, eating's important.
cooking,
It's important.
you kind of know how to.
I think a lot of
Just go ahead and dig
people,
yourself out.
a lot of people don't. I think a lot of people, besides
Women
like
should learn how
trying
to
like
cook.
social media stuff, a lot of people don't know how to cook. That's why
No.
I think being a foodie, I hate the term, but like it's so popular because it's like showing, most of it's not showing what you cook or make, it's showing what other people do and your experience of that, which is like, I don't think a lot of people know how to cook these days.
People freak out when like they're like, "How'd you cook this?" I was like, "I went online, I looked at the recipe, I followed every single."
Or even you just make some shit up. Like sometimes it's good, you know.
Yeah. But I mean, like if you're making like you're zhuzhing up something, like, you know, like if you're gonna actually follow something, but
Some kitchen riz on that shit.
yeah.
Ooh, what's your best kitchen riz?
I don't know. It's probably the baking steez. It's probably like the cookies and
Ooh,
banana
you're a
bread.
baker.
You are a good
You're
baker. Yeah, that's true.
extraordinaire.
Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
used to like it's
You'd be
maybe
taking time
it's
making
playing.
cookies.
It's like it's a little unfair advantage, but like some people, when I would a first date, I would, because I know the bar for men is pretty low in dating. Like, there's not much expected of you to have like a pulse, maybe all your teeth. I don't know.
Don't pull your dick out.
I don't even have all my teeth, but I do pull my dick out on occasion. But like I would bring like baked goods, whether banana bread or cookies. That's my like forte, and I'd bring that out, and like they'd like fall in love after that first encounter because it's good. And then it's like, oh, he's making this effort, and I think that would maybe in hindsight, I was like, that's maybe going a little too strong on the first
You
date.
think that's like pseudo love bombing?
I would say I didn't make this for you, but I would say I made this, and I would never make it for them. I would
to
like
share it.
You know, yeah, I was just make it to share. I give it to my friends. New friend Courtney are often
you ever
the
re-gift
beneficiary. What do you mean regift?
Like you made it for someone and it didn't go over well, so you took it back and then gave it to somebody else.
No, it always goes over
Does
well.
someone do that?
Yeah. And it doesn't go over well. Are you expecting them to
Can you
like
give me that back? I gotta use that still.
Can you
I'm gonna
just go
take
ahead and
that.
spit that out?
like, I don't care if you haven't finished chewing. Like,
I'm gonna repurpose that.
You got any Tupperware so I can take this home?
I'm just gonna rebake whatever you were chewing and then make it into a fresh cookie or
And
something.
then you showed up with the Tupperware to someone else. I'm like, I just made this for you.
with her Tupperware.
Also, can you give me that Tupperware back? I gotta return it.
Got
to the other
returned to the
girl
first one. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it could be seen. It wasn't like my intention, but I think like people probably thought, even if I said I didn't make it for them, they probably thought like, oh, you made this for me.
Yeah. I think a lot of guys were.
Mine was just attention. I don't give people attention, so when they got attention, they're like, oh, he likes me.
Yeah, I can
You
see
are.
that.
I think you
can
do
see
have
that.
you have an avoidant attachment style.
See that.
Yeah, I can see that. I've seen that. Was what I'm saying.
You have changed in the last 6 months.
I've actionably seen.
You used to be super avoidant and detached, and now
Yeah,
you're
for
like
sure.
you're drifting towards a little more.
I think it started actually probably about 2 years ago.
Yeah, and I started feeling
3 years
good
ago.
after. I wouldn't say I was depressed after we broke up, but I wasn't straight.
Yeah, I assumed. There's a total assumption that when you started going to the studio, there was something about that was removed from everything, and so like it seemed like
It was awful because I couldn't give it my full attention.
damn.
Oh,
It
being
was
in the
actually
studio,
awful. Yeah,
Really?
it was actually.
It's gotta hurt
like,
from
it
a
did.
music.
So
of
like you were so
connoisseur.
close to that thing that you cared about, but you couldn't
I
actually.
couldn't even like. I'd be just there, just like.
distracted,
Fuck.
geeking.
Yeah, it looked like you're geeked out.
Just like just like in my head, just like not even really there. It was not good.
I can only
Yeah.
imagine that's a
it
scary
was not
place
good.
sometimes.
And you were there late.
Late, staying up, and just having to be less like, and that's where I got the disdain, I think, for music for a little bit. I was just, I can't even do this right now.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even necessarily the work you were doing itself, but it was like
wasn't,
the
yeah.
association with the experience or the feelings.
Yeah, it wasn't a good time,
Hmm.
but it was a good time because I did meet cool people.
Yeah. You think that at least it gave you some type of like propulsion or rocketing you out of like did you notice at that time that it wasn't a good time, or is that only in hindsight?
No, I definitely knew then, and then I was just like begrudgingly every day going through it, being like, when God gives you these kind of fucking signs, don't
Yeah.
be stupid.
Yeah.
You know? So it was
Yeah.
like a fight every day.
Sounds like some
Yeah.
inner turmoil right there.
It wasn't great, but it was it wasn't like now it would be like, well, I mean, now it is cool, but then when it like was all new and stuff, and I was like, it would have been a total different experience in different circumstances.
Would you say it'd be like that sometimes?
It'd be
It'd be
like
like-
that sometimes, dude.
Shout out Ryan, even though you probably don't listen.
Well, also
Yeah,
don't
sometimes.
give it that credit to Ryan, because Trey will tell you
I'll give it to Ryan. He can have that one.
he can have that one.
He can have that
Yeah.
one. He can have that one.
You were about to say like, well, maybe you weren't, but sometimes like when you talk about things, you'll just be like, oh, but it's like that, or like, oh yeah, whatever, and like it's like kind of glazing over,
That's a bit of a deflection.
or
Sometimes yeah.
and I always wonder
non-answer.
like, do you ever though like when no one's around, maybe like ever like actually dive into it yourself? Where you're like, damn, this is fucked up. Like I didn't like, or is it always just
It's
kind of
no, it's an all the time thing. I just have I have like 4 conversations going on all the time in my head, which is like a bad thing, but I think it's a good thing.
you just become normal, like you've normalized it, and it's like you're
Yeah,
regular.
and it's just like it's a bunch of different things. That's why it's like, unless I'm not doing anything or inebriated, I'll give like full eye contact, because for me, like looking isn't giving full attention. It's weird.
You don't think if people like look eye to eye, it's not full?
No,
attention?
people like to. I don't feel fully attentive when I'm just looking eye to eye. I like to be able to like in my head like kind of bounce things off while I'm listening, and I feel like I can't do that because I'll just like start dead staring at you,
and then like, and you're not necessarily listening. You're
and
just
then
like,
I'm not listening, and then I'm just like,
They're like, Trey's been like that for 5 minutes.
you haven't blinked at all.
yeah,
Is he
so, like,
breathing?
I like to listen and like kind of look so that I can like really listen and kind of think about things and
Yeah.
still actively listen.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you have like those like? I mean, you said 4, but that's probably just like a number you just threw out. But do you have like does each voice have a specific like tone, or is it like it's always there? Like, is there like always like one that's like kind of like analyzing, and maybe another one that's
I guess you could say they all have their role.
have the role? Yeah.
So it's just me, but just noticing
The
every
different
little,
ones.
Yep, every little minutia of what's going on, and I overanalyze everything, so I'll just be like playing scenarios.
I always know that you are overanalyzing something when there's certain terms you use, like that we'll be talking about something, and and I'll hear you say like, "Yeah, it's getting there." I'm like, "Bro, this is a full album that you released. What do you mean it's getting there?" Like, it's getting there, or like it's getting started, or like I'm going back to it, like I'm getting back on it. Because I never feel like you're off it. Like honestly, like sometimes you say stuff. You'll say stuff like, "Oh yeah, I'm just getting back to it." I'm like, I don't think you necessarily are off it. I just think that's the flow of how the majority of things work. Yeah. I mean, if it went like 4 years of you not playing music, then I'd be like, okay, then he is getting back on it. That's way different. Yeah. Because I mean,
what's the same for you? You go in your ebbs and flows.
Dude, this week was bad. Actually, last week was both weeks. I was just like not about anything. I felt like I had no creative power or anything.
All of us, we all thrive with creativity.
Well, I think
it's a bane of our existence.
Probably all of us, we have a strong inner monologue.
Yeah,
very much so.
Yeah, what you're saying, and I know both of you, like pretty strong thing. And do you resolve a lot of stuff just in your head? I know you do.
I do.
That's like it's like that's why I'll
have a full resolution before I speak once.
Because I think I that was like how most of my life, maybe up until maybe 3 years ago, like that was, you resolve everything and you like work out all the scenarios in your head. And that it works. It gets you by. I think that is a little bit of has a tinge of like survival mode in it, like as a coping mechanism to like not upset other people, not upset yourself, or be disappointed in other people's reactions.
No, that's exactly where it comes from. There, you just got. I mean, for me personally, I feel like I just have to know 90% of what's going on
before you voice your opinion.
Yeah, I used to pop off instantly.
Yeah, you did.
I used to be like instantly, like just say it, and I can definitely like congratulate, I guess, myself in not doing that as much anymore.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It makes a world of better where I can actually like tell people like I can't like I like I'm not going to answer this right now or talk to about this right now because it's like it's not going to be a good or clear answer really. But I will say I use other people more now, and still sparingly, than I did before to like sort through things. Because there's certain things where I'll just catch myself. I'm like, dude, I'm just running through the exact same. It's the exact same thing as before. Yeah, like I know the answer I'm gonna give myself because I had before. But in 3 months, I'll probably be back to this thing. Like, what else can I bring in? Like, it's what you kind of said when I texted you like this week when we were talking. I was just like, you were just talking about like creativity, and it was something simple. Where like I just needed a conversation out of my head. I just need the conversation not to be in my head.
A little Cafe Bustelo.
Yeah, because the conversation in my head was you're not creative.
You're not creating.
Yeah, that was it. It was like there wasn't like anything.
Then I hit you up like let's do this.
Yeah,
let's do that.
And I was like, damn, so many ideas, and then like ideas begot like ideas, and you're like, I was like, oh,
of course,
like this feels good. So I think some things I can because I trust myself I can move through it, but other things I'm just like I need some outside perspective generally, which is also a little like nerve-wracking because sometimes you might be like, I don't know if I want to share this with this, like you don't know if the person has the space for it. And like I think also in areas where I would ask people for their insight, like now I'm very particular because I'm not just going to ask
anyone.
Yeah it's like how I always say about like the people like saging people. I'm like, bro, like why are you saging me? Like, I don't know who the hell you are. Like, I don't know, like, all that kind of stuff with, like, energy and thing. I'm like...
I don't believe it, but I believe in it enough to not do it.
Exactly.
Unless I don't know enough about it.
And, like, if you're going to actually have somebody clear your energy, you better know their energy. You better know everything about, like, I don't know, just stuff like that where...
You have stepped away from that like not the general area, which I think is the wellness part, but like that particular category of it, you've kind of stepped away from it. It's more like a general, not so leaning into that side of it, I guess.
But the more people you know, and the more things that truly affect people, the better you can have a direction to go. I feel like that's kind of where it led you to stop doing certain things in certain spaces.
Yeah, I agree. Like I had a really great mentor, and we got down on the idea of like identities a lot. And like ultimately one of the reasons why I stepped away from specifically the spirity zone is because I just see it as like another thing people are tying their self to feel good about their existence. And like that's not me putting them down, because a lot of good work can come out of that. But like when it's just like, oh, I have to like do this and do that, and you're crossing off boxes to be that spirity person and stuff like that, or say certain things or be at certain things, it's like now you just replaced your last character with this new character because you feel like now that's the correct type of thing.
It feels like a little bit surface level, a little bit of a persona.
Yeah, it feels like
a trend.
Exactly, it is. It feels like a trend. It feels like you're kind of running through like a machine of like, this is how you're supposed to act and look and do. And like for the most part, I've never been in a spirity community that didn't have like the regular shit that people outside don't have. It's like
It's just life.
it's not, so I think when people like talk up the game of like, now I'm saved, I'm like, I don't trust that. I don't trust when people are like,
if it was that easy, everyone would say they're Christians. And
if
you're just everything's gonna be nice and dandy because I'm a Christian, then be a Christian. But it's not. They live a regular life.
exactly.
It's just something they believe in that.
And it's like a
helps them.
lens that they look
And
at.
ultimately, I don't care what you call yourself. It's your actions in general that are going to come through, like there's a great, I'm a butcher it, but the statement basically is if you see Buddha in the road, kill him. And what the meaning is if you have somebody that comes to you that says, I am the Buddha, follow me, you
Murder
kill
them.
that. Yeah. You don't follow that. You basically are like, that's not the real thing. And I think a lot of people walk around being like, oh, I'm this, that, whatever, but they're just following a person
It's like a golden calf, like
exactly.
signifying like when you have to tell somebody who you are rather than they can suss out who you are by like your actions. Then it's kind of like you're peacocking, you're announcing yourself.
Yeah,
Well, it's like in anything. It's like once something gets trendy, but that after other people have been doing it, you got the crowd that's been doing it. That's kind of original to it.
It's not a thing.
It's not a thing to them. But then you have the people that then attach themselves to it and then call it, or kind of dilutes the thing.
exactly.
And then the thing becomes a brand or mainstream, and then that just becomes what people attach. I mean, because dude, when I was doing psychedelics and stuff, it was not trendy. It was not cool. Homies were like low key,
put you down.
Like,
You're very much like a
people would
Grateful
talk
Dead type of
people
weird
would be
dude.
talking shit on you.
people
if
were
you
talking
like,
shit
Yeah,
on like
yeah.
they weren't talking shit on me personally because they were like
Everyone loves you.
Kind of, yeah, but like Jason, Ronnie,
Yeah, they're like, you
Oh,
do
yeah,
that?
yeah,
Like,
they would talk
Yeah, they
shit
talk
on
shit on
them.
them.
I was just
Yeah.
like, dude,
well, it's just like even to a lower degree, like weed, like cannabis, like now it's like, oh,
It's all
you
cool
don't do
now.
that,
It's all
like,
cool.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
I mean, even like cocaine, like I'm not saying it's cooler than that, but like
Cocaine.
my
cocaine's always been trendy our whole life.
but I'm
so.
saying like it's way more like you can talk about it like open. Like my boss was just like, I'm tired. I think
It's one of those things.
It's
yeah,
one of those
it's
things
one
now
those
that's
things.
kind of
It's almost
like,
like alcohol and weed.
exactly. Yeah, it's like it's okay to be like kind of
Like if someone's talking a little fast at work, you be like, "You off that?"
yeah, exactly.
You can get away with
You
it.
can get away with it.
What are you clenching so much right now?
yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
You can get
But
away
yeah,
with it.
people would. I mean, you're right. Like it.
No, but it's like, but now it's like everyone's like, you microdosing.
I know.
You getting saged by the ayahuasca tree. I'm like,
Yeah, and everything turns
What?
into a microdose, and like
what?
I think a lot of people kind of embellish. They embellish their experience when
Big time.
like, and
Big time.
not maybe I'm wrong, but I've seen some people who are like, oh, I'm microdosing around like 1 or 2, and I'm not saying that that's not a lot or everything for each person, but they be having like full on like, oh my god, I'm seeing all these
Yeah,
things.
and
I'm
I'm
just
like, how much did you take? And they're like, 0.7. I'm like, how did you see anything off of that?
yeah.
Well,
And also like, that's not the
That's kind
if you're microdosing, then that's not the point. So like I get confused in those stories too, where it's like that's one of those things where it feels like a spiritual badge, like a Boy Scout badge. It's like, oh,
check it off the list.
Yeah, like, oh, I do this, and like, you know,
I felt like that about that shit, but like 15 years ago.
yeah.
Well, it was just more like, oh, I wanted to trip real hard. All right,
Check
got
that out.
But for real, I looked at Trey when he was doing them, and I mean, never in a judgy anything, but I would be like,
we wild.
I'd be like, damn,
Like, he's
homie's wild. Yeah, for real. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah, hippie
I was
flipping
like,
and candy flipping
my
at
homie's
Coachella.
wild.
I was like,
I mean,
that's
bro,
crazy.
but showing up to practice like all Suboxone, not being found for 3 days, like I was kind of tripping, but
A little bit.
I was wild. But yeah, no, but definitely back then it's like, oh, and now everyone's doing the exact same stuff, but microdosing, and it's so cool and hip. And it's like, what the fuck?
I will say last night at I saw Little Dragon at Palladium last night. Because I don't smoke too much these days. I took a couple rips off the pen. I took a little chocolate, little mushroom
good,
chocolate.
right?
Had a few little gin and sodas, and there was something with like, because the levels were high last night. They weren't like bad high with the sound, and there was something with the lights, and then everything was coming together. I was like, I don't know if it's a combination of things, or if I am tripping, or if it's just cool. I'm like, but I'm enjoying this right now, and I felt a little tightness in my chest. I was like, what is this I'm feeling? And I was like, it doesn't really matter. Like, I'm enjoying it. And like, this is cool. Like, oh, I'm allowed to enjoy this and just like kind of be present. And I'm like, whatever it is, like, this is tight. Maybe I'm tripping, maybe I'm not, but it's cool.
Yeah. I love that because that is an experience where you just share where you're like in the moment, you're like, oh, this is like fun. And it doesn't sound like you're like, to me, what you said, like, it doesn't sound like you were chasing anything. It doesn't sound like you're like looking for things. I think a lot of times I hear people talk about it now, and they're like either searching and chasing for like this spiritual freedom or this like liberation, which in my opinion,
How are you going to find that?
Well, I don't know if it really exists
drugs,
on this
at
world,
least.
like to actually in this life, in this skin and bone to do that. But then the other side is when people are always chasing the like the little fun, and like they don't drink anymore, or they're like, oh, I don't like really drink, but they're still chasing the exact same thing that they were. When it's like you're still trying to get that extra smile, extra laugh, extra fun time kind of thing, you know, and which I have absolutely no problem with, but then also don't go and say like, oh, like I don't do those kind of things. I'm like, but you kind of do. Like you kind of sort of still do. You still kind of try to.
I mean, that ties into I mean, this is the last day of the month. And
Last sobering of October.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else is down to do it. We're doing Sober October.
We're getting inebriated as much as we can right
today.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're indulging a little bit. But we're like next month it's like it's strict. It's strict.
Very
like
strict.
No, like obviously no drugs or alcohol, but we're not doing any nicotine or caffeine either, which is probably going to be the hardest thing for me.
I almost died.
Do you think nicotine's gonna be the hardest thing for you?
No, caffeine.
Caffeine is
for sure. Like just because I only drink 1 cup of coffee a day, but sometimes that like will like save my life in that I was feeling super groggy or something. And I know we agreed we can have like decaf or we can have non-alcoholic beers and stuff, but like I think it's the coffee. Yeah, a little bit of the nicotine too, but you know.
Definitely can't. There's no nicotine thing you can do.
Are there any like herbal vapes? Do you know? Because I think a lot of mine is
a
a
lot.
Definitely.
like, and I don't want the melatonin ones because I don't want to fall asleep while I'm working or something.
No, you can get like lavender ones.
Because I think a lot of it is a little bit of it is the oral fixation.
Yeah.
Because like I could do without like smoking cigarettes, but I think it's like the vape thing. Just
Weed's gonna be so hard.
Putting something in my mouth, you know.
Bro, I've been smoking weed since I was like 16.
I mean, because the biggest break you took was when we went to Italy last year for like 3 weeks.
There was a year when you were like 20.
You're right when I stopped.
When you stopped.
I was basically straight edge when straight edge wasn't cool.
Yeah, I was like 19 or something.
Yeah,
it was.
What brought that on?
It was basically 19 and a half to 21.
That was before House of Pain.
Yeah.
Remember, it was like I didn't drink like my 21st birthday.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went a little bit after
that
drinking.
Yeah.
What brought that on? A lot of things actually. Yes, a lot of things. Biggest two, I guess. My dad had a problem with drinking, so I've never been like I don't like to get too crazy on liquor.
I relate.
Probably the last time I saw you, little wild
I'll
was
have fun,
well,
like-
New Year's. You were
Yeah, no,
getting-
I don't have any problem with like I
You're
will
getting on a level.
and I will drink and like have a good fun, a good night, but it's not going to be a back to back or a double dipper type of thing.
We've aged out of that. I can't even pull it off.
I can't even do that
feels
2 weekends.
terrible,
Like I
man.
mean, smoking, yeah, but like I don't like to indulge with the.
Well, but yeah, because in Italy there's no weed anywhere, or at least like stuff that'll get you high, and so. But I think we replaced that. Smoked a lot of cigarettes.
A lot of cigarettes.
Drank a lot. What was it? Was like, fuck, like 6 packs in like 3 weeks.
But I
or
felt like I
something
wasn't fiending weed. We were having a good time.
Well,
too.
that's what I'm saying.
what
Well,
helped
we
out.
were
Everything was being full. Like
we were
you
stimulated, and we're everything. And so, but we did replace one thing with another.
Of course.
100%.
So-
That's
definitely
generally what
did.
happened. That's why I want to like this next month. I actually don't want to do decaf, and I don't want to do non-alcoholics because I don't want to replace them with the things
With something.
that kind of sort of taste or
I'm
feel
trying
the
to
same
replace
thing.
stuff with work ethic.
Yeah,
You
I just
can
want
make
to drink.
more
I'm just
clips.
gonna get a whole lot of like herbal teas,
There you
and
go, yeah.
and that's gonna be it.
Well, this is like I'm still gonna go meet people at bars, and I've done that. I
going
think
to
I did that
Georgia.
last month.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I want to go out to
Yeah.
a bar and I'll have like a non-alcoholic beer, like just because like
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to a show.
Oh no, I feel you.
Yeah,
Not
you know?
holding something. It's like when we went to Sam's, and I was like, I'm not drinking really right now, but this feels so awkward not having a drink in your hands. So
Shirley Temple.
yeah, hold the Shirley.
all temple.
Let's give me all the Temple.
Yeah, I think you're 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. You're going to Georgia, Atlanta, visiting some family.
Yep. Going to Atlanta, then to Athens. Should be cool. Haven't seen my mom since she moved out there.
Are you
Oh no, I
gonna-
have. She came out here.
Are you gonna go to Magic City?
My sister's gonna be out there, so if I can convince my sister to go with me, I'll go. For sure.
I mean, I've heard the wings there are very
Get them
good, so that
wings.
might be able to replace
Yeah.
a little
'Cause, like,
thing.
the
Or
low-key, like my mom she's one of 10, so I have
That shit
cousins
blows my
that I
mind.
don't know type shit.
Mhm.
So it's like if I
Montel
have
Jordan.
a cousin or something. Well, that's my sister. But if I have a cousin that wants to go do something, I'll be down. Yeah, let's go Magic City.
So
But
do you
it's
think
like-
that will be like a bit of a temptation? Do you think you'll be eating hot chicken when you come back from that trip, or what do you think?
So the thing is, like, Auntie Eva.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
So like I know, like, because my mom is like the only one of her siblings that doesn't like smoke weed. But all like my aunts and uncles, they all smoke weed.
Fun time, Auntie.
Auntie Eva,
Auntie Eva.
she's the Migo auntie. Got a pound, she might just serve us.
Well, you know,
So that's gonna
That'd
be,
be
and then
hard.
she makes a crazy Long Island that's like her Long Island,
Damn.
and it's like it's deadly because it's all top shelf liquors.
well, the whole thing we said is like if you you could take a drink. Like
But I'm
any
gonna
drink
try
is a
not to.
punishment.
I'm gonna try-
No,
yeah.
but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, I'm gonna try
if
not
you
to.
if
I'm
you
doing my
do
best.
like if you're gonna cheat, like take a drink, like you might as well. You're not gonna take a sip. You're
Yeah,
gonna
you might as well
You
finish
do the
it.
whole
you're gonna
drink.
drink,
Yeah,
but
drink
it
the
has
whole
to be
drink.
it has to be in one. It has to be in
That's
one
gonna be
thing.
the hardest.
I mean-
Georgia's going to be the hardest.
I think okay. So to touch that again, then every sip is a bite.
No. Any drink. So it could be a sip. It could be the whole thing if you chug it.
But is
It's
it a
just-
bite or is it a
No,
wing?
it's two bites.
2 bites.
Then it's exponential. 2 bites, 4 bites, 8 bites.
See, that means that the only way then that you can actually have a drink is if you just down the whole damn
Exactly.
thing.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like if you're
You
gonna
have to-
imbibe,
yeah, if you do it, you
if you're
gotta
gonna imbibe, if you're gonna smoke, you better smoke.
You better.
But
Long
that's the
ass
thing. I feel like I could not smoke because they don't got great weed.
yeah. That.
So like
To
that's
sticks
kind of.
and yes.
I'm kind of okay with.
seeds and stems.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not really gonna.
I think the drinking thing will actually probably be the
That will be the hardest, but I cannot drink. I
Yeah.
feel,
yeah.
and it'd already be halfway through.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah,
I'll
because I
figure
think
I'll be like, I don't want to break.
I think with weed, 2 weeks you'll be good.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
first
for
week,
sure.
As soon
really
as you
hard.
get in-
Tomorrow's gonna suck. I already told the homies at work. I'll be like, hey, I'm doing sober October, so if I come in all grumpy next week, it's because I'm not smoking weed
That's why
before.
you know. Yeah. That's yeah.
Like, get this shit done, idiot.
You're like I'm sober. I'm doing it as fast as I can. I'm sorry.
You just get turned super evil. You're just super mean.
I just
Fucking
irritated. It's always irritated.
Always
Get
mad.
this shit fucking done right now.
Yeah, so if any want to join, let us know.
Sober October.
Sober October.
I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a great time to kind of reflect and kind of evaluate. Not like it could be deep, could be just like, how you're doing.
We've been going
your
deep,
day-to-day.
bro. We haven't even talked about one topic today.
I know.
It's like we just hit an hour too.
I've
so.
been trying to figure out for at least the past 10 minutes
Segue.
how to segue.
There was a couple
into something.
segues, but I didn't want to interrupt.
We had a couple, and then they kind of got washed away.
Well, I think I
Washed
have
it away.
washed away.
I have
washed away.
Oh, you want to do that?
Let's let it.
We could.
Well, we can't drag it out. Well, one thing really quick. when you're going
dragging out
when you're in Georgia,
Okay.
I'm going to be doing
Yeah, you're doing like something.
it's
right?
like a self-leadership workshop, which I
That's
like
cool.
I think a couple years ago I would be like, that's bullshit, I don't need that, but then I think
you do need that right now.
well, cuz like the mentorship thing, I was like, I've kind of been introduced to a couple of people before, and I thought it was like a mentorship thing, but it ended up being like a marketing opportunity or something. But this one is like a self-leadership thing, and
You want to help the youth? You want to mentor somebody?
no, this is all myself, like to learn like my own voice and really like get behind my ideas and my motivations.
There you go.
So I think that could be really, really good. I'm excited for that, actually.
There you go. Team building.
That's super cool.
by
Yeah.
yourself.
I love learning things like that. Like anything that's that you can apply to yourself. I mean, I in general, I love learning. Like I just think it just keeps your brain.
Fucking nerd.
Yeah, but I mean, you do too. You learn
love
all
to
the time.
learn.
Fucking nerd.
Fucking nerd. Yeah, but it's just something about it. Like it feels good, but then also the application to like your own life. Like, I mean, self leadership is probably what should be labeled and taught. It's ultimately what's supposed to be taught to you all your life. Ultimately, you're trying to
You're
learn.
number one, man.
Well, it's trying to like critical analysis for yourself. You're trying to basically be able to apply.
They're trying to teach us that we don't matter, though.
I mean,
Exactly.
who?
This is like well, I mean, like I think doing this whole doing the pod and getting to talk with you guys every week, it's definitely helped me find my
Your voice?
my voice,
There you
get
go.
like confidence and stuff. So I think this would be the next level to like, how do I focus that? How do I really like kind of not stand my own ground,
You're
but
like
really
the pod
believe in-
manager too.
You really
You're
are.
like the den mother.
And the
Oh.
host.
I'm a co-host. You guys are all. I mean, I do the intro, but that's small potatoes in the big picture. But I didn't realize, I never thought I would be like any sort of leadership qualities, but I think that was just me telling myself my whole life is like, oh, I'm more of a follower. Give me something, I'll do it. And I think that was just kind of not self-sabotage, but that's really like digging into my own beliefs, but never really challenging them. So I think this year has been transformative in that respect, and I appreciate you guys for that opportunity. So I think this will be.
You're a good leader.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll follow you blindly.
Well, I don't really.
Time after time.
I don't condone that just because, like,
My glasses were off.
yeah.
Only because I have no glasses.
I mean, I'm very much in the school of
completely blind.
if you say something with confidence, people will believe you. And most of the stuff I say is very confident, but I don't believe like half of it, or it's not fact checked.
So like I don't know if it was me and this is my personality or if it comes from like all of my friends and it's a melange at this point.
A menage.
Great word.
But like I didn't realize that when we say shit to each other and we're always joking and so we kind of know when we're not being serious, but other people don't get it. So like I meet so many people and they say something and I say something back and they're like, wait, for real? I'm like, God no. Like what? Like
Yeah, I don't
like
think
they'll
that's
say
it.
something and I'll be like, oh yeah, like it was crazy like when I was living in France and like I had to like hide from, and they're like, wait, what? I'm like, how does that sound believable? But if you say it with confidence, people be like, damn, that shit really happened. Okay.
Yeah, someone told me this week that I was I was a mean person in high school. I was just like, what?
You barely talk.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who don't
Why
necessarily
the hell?
get a lot of time with you. Like, I mean, I didn't.
That's what I was like, what?
I knew you before that. I didn't really know. We didn't really meet
Till right
each
after,
other until
yeah.
right after high school. So I didn't know you back then. But a lot of people don't know. Like, you're very introverted.
Yeah, I know.
But when you're around, when you're
When
comfortable
around
with the
the
people
peoples,
around, you're
yeah.
like you're very outspoken. But when you're
I always find it interesting that people take introversion for you being rude, because I get that.
They do.
People will be like,
They
"Oh, like
do.
he's like stuck up." I'm like, "No, I'm
I
just literally in my like."
I'm trying not to be like I don't go out of my way too much to meet new people like
Yeah,
that. So it's
yeah.
just like, it's kind of like, here we go. Then I got to try to take on some new energy, and then once the energy's fucked up,
Like walk into a place and like I'll say hi to the people that are directly in my line, and someone will be like, "Why didn't you say hi to me?" I'm like, "I just didn't, like, you were over there. I wasn't gonna run over there." And then like next thing is like, "Oh, like he doesn't like me." I'm like, "No, that's my personality. It doesn't mean nothing about you. Like, it's nothing."
do you guys think you were cool in school?
No.
I didn't.
Well, I thought you were cool because like I didn't know you in high school, but
Yeah,
I knew
you
your
were
name.
cool. Everyone
yeah,
knew Sean
his
to be
name was
cool.
fucking thrown
His
around
name
a
was
lot.
gold.
I
Sean
think
was
it's because I had a
gold.
long ass last name, and I think also
Oh yeah,
because
sure, yeah, because of your last name, you were cool.
No. But I think
think
it's
that's
also
it.
because Mr. Pickering was my dad, and if you were out to
And-
Loma, like
that-
everyone
that
had
helps, but
that
that's not
helped.
it.
No, it's because I think you were in a band.
No, but that wasn't though, because we
Because
weren't.
I would have
really,
been cool then.
and we really weren't in the band till after I graduated. That
but,
was like,
but
after.
you no. Well, then how did I knew your name a lot? Like
I don't
I knew like a
'Cause
couple
you
of cool kids
must
in
have
high
been that
school,
sex
but
tape. Then no sex tape.
No, you know what though? Because no, she told me, she's like, no, you guys were like the super cool kids that didn't know you were the coolest kids.
I mean, I didn't. I wouldn't have called myself cool.
But other people thought we were really cool.
I get, yeah.
But also thought that we were jerks because we didn't talk to everybody. But we were all pretty weird and shy.
For real, I'm still shy. Honestly,
So it's
like
well, it's kind of
I'm less shy,
funny
but
to
I'm
the
still-
counterpoint of guys. What you guys said earlier, I feel when I'm out and about meeting new people that I've never been around before. I put on like a persona. I'm very
You're a schmoozer.
extroverted,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I like put on a thing. But it's like now more than ever when I do that. Like, not that it's not genuine, but I'm putting on a face, and it's super draining now.
yeah,
I can see it.
And like I could do that for like a few hours, but then I'm like I can't go out for a couple days because I'm
That
just
shit's so
fucking-
draining.
I could
I'm
see
done.
that being draining. Yeah, I could definitely see
I can
that.
kind of see you doing, because you are like, everyone does love Josh, and you are kind of a people person.
Everyone
And-
loves Josh.
and everybody else's eyes, they're like, "Oh, Josh is the people person," but that means that people are instantly then they might.
No, it's because
they
Josh
might-
has done a kind deed for every
everyone,
person.
yeah. But I was gonna say too, like, they might not say it to you, but there's this probably an unspoken expectation of like Josh energy. So like you might also be having to bring that out
You're right,
because like.
you're right, because Neil can get off just being a dick and people expect it.
He's really got
Phil's
into that
brother.
role. Yeah,
Phil's brother.
Oh, damn,
Feels
sorry.
yeah. You got
I'll pay you with
pay
a
him.
compliment. Love you, bro.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, it is.
But that works for me.
It
too,
is
for the
can
same
be like
thing.
whether it's
Yeah.
chaotic or like very jovial
Jovial?
energy. Yeah, and then I feel like, oh, I saw that person, so I got to be that level again. And I am the person that will be like, if I know them, like if I go to a place and I know some, I'll say hi to the people, all the people I know, and then meet some other new people. But it's like I don't. It's more like out of obligation rather than like I'm motivated to do that myself.
It's crazy how like character drives so much, because like Phil's brother took me a while to realize that like his humor is kind of just like, I remember thinking like, damn, he's a dick. And I remember like my brother meeting him, I'm like, he's not you, like, that's not the case. But like, and once you get to know people, it kind of like, you're like, oh, like I
That's
get
why
you.
he's never rubbed me the wrong way, because we about the same. People don't
You
like
talk
us all.
you talk way less than him. You talk way you're way more quiet.
Well, but did you? I mean,
but yeah, I
'cause
could see that though.
he went to Rancho. Did you guys know him in high school?
No,
because
I only knew him as the person that got hit in the face with the
With
bottle.
the water bottle on
Yeah.
first.
I just
like during
knew
lunch.
him through Paul Davis.
I didn't know him until we met him through Paul Davis. But
That's what I'm saying.
But I think it was after. But yeah, that's when I first met him.
Well, I
Yeah.
say this with love, but like Phil's brother was like he was a terror in high school.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Like we were always friends. I don't really even remember how we got first introduced. I think in like maybe junior high or something. But yeah, like we've always been friends. But people were always like, they thought he was cool, but then they also were like, I don't like him. Because he's just a strong personality, and he continues to be a strong personality. But it's like calm down, kind
He's
of
softer
like
now.
he knows where to focus his energies, and like
he started doing the namastes and his pranayama, and he found his chakras got aligned.
He started grilling.
He's a little
He started grilling.
Yeah. Zen in the art of barbecue.
For real, that's gonna be his first book.
Oh, he could be the barbecue bodhisattva.
Dang.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then we'll get off and kind of get into some topics. But I was like, kind of end your thought. It's crazy how people will remember you the last time that they saw you, and that is who you are always to them, despite how much you've changed or everything like that. And I think that happens a lot in this realm of age, because like, you see people kind of sorta, but not very often, and maybe they saw you like 5-10 years ago, and like people be like
you're the same person,
and yeah, they think you're the exact same person. And for the most part, people aren't. I know some people that haven't changed. I do know some people who are exactly the same, but like it's kind of crazy because if they see you again, like they'll just kind of instantly be like, oh yeah, like you are who you were last time. And like people hold grudges like that, and I think that's some crazy shit. And people hold grudges on the person.
I know there's
like
one person that
holds a grudge against me.
No, not against you, but I know that like I know one person that's a good energy.
I gotta check
yeah,
this.
you were definitely you were still outspoken in high school. You were like you were a personality, a little more like boisterous. Definitely.
If for
you
a
have your
band, I
moments
was like,
now.
oh, I'm in a band with Sean. Like, Sean Corey Pickering. Oh my god.
I have no idea how or why, but
government names out here, man.
We're trying to make it.
Well, that's okay.
It doesn't matter because it's us.
My handle is literally my whole fucking name. So
try and hide. Well, like I mean, Trace
my name's Ruben.
Finsta is like
the same thing.
There's nothing changed
There's
about
no
it.
different.
Yeah, it's my name.
That's why every single time I try to tag it, I'm like, sometimes I mess up. I'm like, it's the wrong one. I'm like, I went to the wrong one.
But most people don't know my name is Ruben.
No.
Which it is.
Yeah.
Which it is.
I don't think I've never seen you respond.
It's because it's not like my name.
Yeah, like I mean, even with your mom, like even you know what I mean,
never
like
called me
never.
that.
Yeah, I've never seen you in a scenario where like you've actually been called.
First day of school type shit. That's it.
Yeah, like, that's not my name. Excuse me.
That's not my name.
Say that shit.
Every day, every year, I have to go through that bullshit.
Sometimes you got a Rube Goldberg thought process, though. Sometimes.
I like that.
Ruben is kind of like you do have an alt ego.
That's
just
my
chilling.
CEO side.
Yeah,
that's when I get stern.
Mm-hmm.
Ruben's here.
Ruben's here.
Guys, be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet.
Ruben's
coming.
Ruben's here.
I like Ruby instead.
Ruby Tuesday.
Yeah, sounds softer.
Only time I ever even use it.
Ruby Tuesday.
It's Ruby Tuesday.
All right, Joshy, let's bring us into these topics.
All right, well, let's start off probably the biggest topic of the week. It's a sports topic. I'm very excited because NBA is starting up next month, right? Next month, October.
Like
Hopefully
3 weeks.
Taylor Swift will show up at a game.
Yeah. Well, if she's not,
Just
she's
have to
not
start dating someone new.
Yeah. I mean, she'll still have the effect, but yeah. Damien Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks.
What do you think about that? We haven't said nothing.
I didn't
crazy.
see it.
It's a crazy.
Is that a lateral move? Is that up? Is that down?
I mean, I think just because it was stagnant in
but that's
Portland. They kept
is a move for him lateral? Is it about the same? Is it a upgrade?
I think
it's an upgrade.
I think it's lateral.
I think it's lateral, if not down, because he's not the star on that team.
And the face of the franchise.
And he's not the face of the franchise. I think if he would have went to Miami, he would have been the star of the team. Even though Butler's there, they would have shared it. But like, I think there's more respect on Lillard's name. No offense, Butler, don't come and find me. But there is a sense of like, I think that there. But I think Giannis. I kind of felt like it was almost a gift to Giannis.
He needed help.
Well, but also to keep him there. Because his contract's up, I think, end of this next year or this year. So I feel like it was kind of like hey, we'll bring you in a heavy hitter. I didn't see it coming at all. I never would have thought him into the Bucks.
Yeah, I did not see Bucks as like a candidate.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, I saw it.
Just go over it.
Yeah.
I think it's good though, just because I think a new team, new people to like new dynamics. I think that's why it's an upgrade. I think it is a bit a lateral move, but I think with just the new dynamics, it is an upgrade for him because like his legacy in Portland, like he will always be beloved over there, but like people like Portland fans are like, you need to move because we're not going to get you the chip that you want.
Did you hear the little rap he put out?
No.
He's like a decent.
Did he rap it? Something for the trade? He put rap out.
Basically, he said something about to the effect of like, "I got a lot of love for Portland, but they ain't never gonna blaze the trails."
Ouch.
It was like so.
I mean, everybody in Portland listened to it. Like,
Yo, my sister's
not
been
wrong.
saying for years because like they're Trailblazer fans. She's been like, "Please leave." Like go because we care about you and you're not gonna get anything here.
But they're not a big enough market to get.
No,
anybody.
that's one.
yeah,
of
but like
the
you could say that about
smallest big cities.
You could
in
say that about
in-
Milwaukee too. Is like they're a
they-
small market until
They haven't got anybody though. They kind of developed Giannis, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But it's
Well,
a
I would
small
say,
market
though,
helps, you know.
I would say though that they Drew Holiday was a pickup for them when they got him
he's
because
a solid C when he came over.
no way,
You're right. He was a
no
A-
way,
B.
yeah, A minus. Don't throw
B
that.
plus.
Don't throw that. That's
He's
disrespectful.
how old is he? He's still like I wouldn't say on an upward trajectory, but he's like plateauing at solid numbers. Like
Yeah.
last 3-4 seasons.
He's
Still.
definitely better than Pat Bev.
That's not.
You're gonna put their names side by side?
They look alike.
That's outstanding.
There's
And-
no
and
way
not
they
in
look
a good
alike.
way.
Are you saying looking at like on paper or something? Because they don't look alike on paper neither.
They don't.
I'm pretty sure that Drew Holiday is the number one defensive point guard,
He's good. He's solid.
and he puts up
Just out of
points,
guards
though.
in general,
He's
I think.
solid. He's a solid underrated player.
Yeah. Wait, how many points? I think you're selling him short. What do you think his stats are normal?
He's got to average like
Drew?
Yeah.
20.
Like I was gonna say like 24. I was gonna say like
Two-
8 and
two steals.
4.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. 2 steals, maybe a
Mhm.
block.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Who do you think won in that trade? No
Nobody.
one. Such a Trey answer. Fuck.
I feel like it was just they just shifted some pieces. It was like 2 B teams shifted some pieces around.
Well, I think like for Aiden,
Who's
that
the B team?
that is a win.
Who are the 2 B teams?
The Bucks and the Blazers.
The Bucks are
How
a
can
B
you
team.
call the not defending champions, but you can call a championship team like the
They
B
they
team?
won a
Because
championship
they
2
both
years
start
ago.
with B's.
Oh,
What are you guys thinking?
okay.
God, this guy.
You made me lose my train of thought right there.
This guy.
Oh, but I think Aiden won with that because I think he hit his ceiling in Phoenix. Like
Yeah.
I don't think because I thought they were stupid to get rid of Monty,
Mm,
but because where is he now? Is he Detroit?
I don't even know.
That
But-
sucks. I mean, no.
But that's
offense.
good for them. That's
Yeah.
good for them.
Yeah, yeah.
Monty will.
Who's their new coach?
mm.
They just got.
Who's the guy that Vogel?
Ube? Oh, Frankie.
Or was it
How did he become the coach of the
Udoka?
Suns?
is that
Ube?
yeah.
I think.
I don't know if it was
somewhere.
them,
He went
but
from
maybe.
the Celtics to somewhere.
Oh, he was a great coach. He got an unfortunate hand. I
Got
think.
me too.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. It's crazy.
But yeah, I think
get you.
Aiden it'll be good for Aiden. Although I don't know how good the
I don't know if he's
offensive
that
defensive.
good, to be honest.
Aiden looks so old for how young he is. I don't know. He's
He looks like Joel Embiid's like little brother.
But I feel like if
Skinnier
he,
with a
I
bigger
bet if Aiden went to the Clippers,
using
like
choice words.
he would.
Oh, he would.
Their
he
coaching
would be
staff is
cool.
like some of the best to me.
yeah.
Clippers?
In terms of developing a
Where are
player.
they developed?
Well, a lot of these players who were like bench warmers, like Reggie Jackson, he's a starting point guard.
Yo,
now.
don't let him bully you, Josh.
Look at his stats. Look at his
Don't let
stats.
him bully you.
What's his name?
Reggie who?
Got a ring Jackson last year.
Did he play a lot to get it, ring?
Probably
Played
not.
enough. Who's the French dude?
Which one?
That's on their squad right now.
On the Clippers?
On the Clippers.
There's a French dude?
Yeah.
Terrence Mann?
No.
I know he's
Paul George?
I don't know. Well, no, they develop like players who were like kind of unloved, and that like they get them in trade. They're a lot
hasn't
better.
Developed nobody but losing records.
Bro, you don't have a team. You're not allowed to have conversations like this without a team. Kicked out.
I mean, all experience, all opinions are valid except for yours.
What have you developed beside a losing record?
You're just talking about not winning chips, but they've had like in the past.
I think they have a winning record.
Yeah, they have a winning record.
A losing record, I know.
Well, every team has a losing record if they don't win the championship. Then in your
or
view.
even a conference final,
Well, a lot of teams haven't gotten that either.
or even anything.
When's the last time the Lakers got a? Or did they do that last year? No, they didn't win the.
They won the bubble.
That doesn't count.
Dame said it was the hardest ring
Why?
because he says every person playing was fresh. That's why you had guys that you never heard of putting in 50 points. Everybody was fresh. Nobody came off of doing anything strenuous. They were all fresh. They all had time to recover. He said he feels like that was the toughest, the best you could see anyone playing.
Wow.
I mean that does kind of reinforce
It is,
like
but he
the
says
Denver
he
thing,
can see
but
for fans, they're like, "Oh, this isn't like." He says, but as a player, he's like, every player was fresh on the court every day
Because they couldn't do anything. Wow. Crazy.
I feel like it's harder because like if you're doing
He
the.
said that's the hardest ring
Really?
because everyone was good. You're not. It's that what if everyone's fresh ring. It's
That was
if
like-
no one gets hurt. If no one
But it's
has any injuries.
But that's not like people are never like, oh, what if this? What if that? Like
they do when someone gets hurt. They're like, what if they never got hurt?
Very true.
But for playoffs,
Right?
it's like you expect that. Like it's a fucking grueling.
So what
Like
happens when
tournament.
you get the play that no one gets hurt? Everyone's fresh.
I didn't feel that though in the.
He says he could see it for fans because it wasn't marketed as anything crazy.
But
either.
I mean, I thought it was entertaining. I don't see it like that. It doesn't
He
count.
said it's like, think about it like when you see in the summer how you have all these summer leagues where fools are balling out. Think about it but it's only NBA players.
But yeah,
And they're actually running plays.
I hear that. I don't think that's true.
Well, what would make
Batum,
what's
that's
more
who it is,
difficult,
Batum.
No. I'm trying. Oh, Batum. Yeah, he did get
though?
better.
What makes it more difficult? Though?
No, I'm not thinking difficult. I'm just trying to remember if people weren't injured. Like I just don't remember that being a.
The Lakers won. AD never got hurt. How often does AD get hurt?
Every year.
That should tell you something.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
They were fresh every game.
Yeah. He was also like 4 years younger, 3 years younger. Wasn't that
21?
Wasn't that his first year on the? No, it's 20.
2021 season.
Then they wouldn't have been in the bubble.
We're in the bubble. It was COVID.
20.
Well, that was just the bubble. That wasn't the league. That was just playoffs, right?
They went into the bubble for whatever it was. For maybe it was just playoffs. They were in the bubble. Maybe that's why he's saying it's the toughest too. They took a little break and came back, quarantined and played.
2020.
Oh, 2020. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, it definitely wasn't 2021.
No, yeah, he said it was the toughest. I mean,
Why would I believe what a player says who plays in the bubble? I more trust the fans of what they say of many who've never played a game of basketball in their life.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I could see that. I
I
could see that
see-
in the playing level of it.
That's
Yeah.
all he was talking about. He wasn't necessarily. He was only talking about it as in the competitive play. So this is the highest you could see basketball.
But I guess at the same time, like you don't get those conditions because it is like a thing. So it's not like
That's
realistic.
Why he said
It's
it
like,
was
yeah,
the hard.
yeah.
That's why he says he thinks it's crazy when people downgrade that specific championship. He's like, because that was actually everybody was fresh.
Okay, I'll take that. I guess. All right.
And he said it was cool too because they would all be hanging out at the pool together. There'd be little cliques.
That's so
it's-
funny.
It's all the teams not
all-
damn,
yeah,
not
so it's
mingling.
like he said it was fun and competitive. Like,
Like basketball summer camp, basically.
Basically. I mean, I'm excited to see like a lot of these new players out. Like I'm excited to see your favorite player CP on the Warriors. I think.
oh, I can't wait to see him do great.
Who are you most stoked?
Blink, blink, blink.
Who are you most stoked to see this year?
Play?
Yep.
Probably Russell Westbrook. He's been looking good this summer.
Yeah.
He got better on the Clippers. I don't think that was through the coaching, but I think like they defined a role for him
I'll give
because
you
he was just like
I'll give you that.
on the Lakers. You know,
I'll give you
that's
that.
I think the players on the Lakers, they had no bench for a while, but the coaching staff, and not so much the coaching staff, but the front office, they're trying to put together a team on like
Paper.
star power,
Yeah.
and like that didn't work. Like I think after the bubble, they had the biggest drop off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
They did.
after that, But I don't know. Who are you excited to see? Dame?
I was excited to see Jaw too.
That's
Wait
what
for
I
him
was
to shoot the
expecting.
lights out.
I was expecting you to say Jaw, honestly. Haha, shoot the lights out. Haha. With this little pew pew.
It's tiny gun.
I just gotta wait half the season to see him play.
Oh, because he has that thing, huh?
He's
Got that thing on him. He keeps it on him.
He keeps that thing on him.
Involuntarily.
I forgot.
Sean, I shouldn't have said shit. Sean would have drafted him. They got Joe first
No,
round.
I wouldn't have drafted him. I've been like, that's a liability.
Damn.
It is.
Where's D Rose at? Is he still in the Knicks?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He got married last week or 2 weeks ago.
That's your
His wife's
favorite
hot.
player, right?
They've been together forever.
I mean, yeah, they have been fair. He's not my favorite player now because, like, when people get older.
Sean stopped liking him when he got the all-seeing eye on his
No,
throat.
I love that. I was like, homie, where, who, when, where? I still
got the
appreciate him.
Illuminati eye.
I appreciate him because, and this kind of goes to your point with Lonzo, although I don't know if that's gonna be the same thing. But like, I would
Just to see him come back.
Yeah, to see him come back and to see him be usable.
An integral part of a team.
Yeah, exactly. Which kind of goes against a lot of what fans outside world will talk about, like, you know, your Steven Smiths or whatever. Like, we'll be like,
That's why they put the hate on Westy. That's why I want to see Westbrook do well.
Yeah. So many people get like the yeah. I don't know if he's even playing much anymore because he barely played last year, but I'll still appreciate him.
Yeah,
as
you
a
get
player.
like 10 minutes or
Yeah.
less.
So my because I know Drew Holiday, you know, is with the Blazers, but there's a shopping idea, and one team's looking at him was the Bulls because they still don't have a point guard the whole year. I think that's such a great
Poor guys.
if they could work that
They
out.
built the team around Lonzo.
Yeah, they did, and so if they could, and Drew plays defense like Lonzo.
He could shoot well.
And he can shoot well. So if they could somehow do that without losing DeMar, Levine, and Vucevic, that team starting up, at least the starting lineup would be great. There's a lot of good starting lineups.
Levine's so good.
Yeah.
I think
He's one of the
held
dudes
back
I'm
by
blown
his
away.
team.
He's the guy who I'm blown away hasn't had an enormous injury because he's still plays explosive.
Or just
Super
like
physical.
an enormous sponsorship.
He doesn't have his own signature shoe yet. Book has one.
That's what I'm.
It's trash, but
Yeah.
he has one.
Like, he's dope.
Yeah, he is dope. The only sponsorship he got was that Mountain Dew one last year. You take a pic. I mean, you know,
Yeah, it is what it is.
take what you're given.
I'm excited to see, with the new rule in place, I'm excited to see the Clippers play.
What rule are you talking about?
you got to play.
The non-resting, like you can't rest
Oh,
to
you
start
can't rest.
two games in a row.
They ain't got stars.
You just called
You
your
just
boy.
talked about,
You just
like,
talking about
yeah.
Westbrook not being a star right now.
Oh, shit.
I mean, they still need a center. That's why I'm like, if they got Aiden or some shit, but like they
I
need
was
like
still
a
thinking
quality
CP3
big
was
man.
over there, little bitch ass.
You always just think that's the real reason why you don't like the Clips because of CP3 and Doc.
And Doc, yeah.
and
Oh,
in
I
your
hate
mind,
Doc. I
in
never
your
liked
mind,
Doc.
They're always there.
They're always there.
just never left.
CP3's just like the janitor sweeping after the game.
The specter of Doc.
Do you think that the T Swift effect that happened at the Chiefs game, if she were to date somebody in the NBA, do you even think that'd be possible? Like, do you?
Oh, if she dated a black person, people would lose their minds.
A light-skinned black dude.
Ja Morant.
T Swift effect though on the NFL, and
Did you know that nobody really knew who Travis Kelce was until like T Swift really put him on the map?
What about the 2 Super Bowls they won?
I mean, but that's just like, you know, people know Patrick Mahomes.
they give those out. Dude.
Oh, so what about no, I like where we're going with this. So, who are the 2 biggest names on the Pats? There's Tom Brady when they were Brady in, and who's the other big?
A win.
Gronk?
Yeah, Gronk.
Ooh. And what position did he play?
I honestly don't know.
Well, I'll tell you. Him and Kelsey play the same position.
One of the most
But did
important
Gronk
positions.
date T Swift?
But they're like the same. They're like
Did he date T Swift?
No, but I was just saying
Thank
like
you.
okay, you got that one, Josh. But people know of Travis Kelsey. I think he's like rated either 1 or 2.
No, they're
best
saying
tight ends
he's like one of
in
Yeah.
the NFL
the best.
at the moment.
I
mean,
didn't know
like,
him
I don't
until
know about-
last Like I last
If you're not a fan, you're not gonna.
yeah.
Well, I'm not a fan. I knew
Yeah.
him. I knew his brother's good too.
His brother is good.
Really good. Not like same level.
His brother's a sinner, so he doesn't get the same.
No,
kind
he
of
doesn't get
shine.
the He's not scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
No, exactly. He's not scoring touchdowns.
But that stat, though, just in case people don't realize, so I haven't fact checked this, so if I'm wrong, let
Read
me know.
me your falsities.
Yeah,
Missed out fire.
Kansas City. I actually asked people. I was like, "Yo, do you ever find me doubtful? Just let me know." Kansas City Chiefs experienced 3 times the home game ticket sales after
That's huge.
the Taylor Swift thing.
For
fucking
football, bro.
Yeah.
And that's already big.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, how
All
can you
right.
get huger?
Female viewership on that game alone was at 63% increase. Travis's Instagram grew by 600,000 fans, and his podcast with his brother went to number 1 on Apple. His jersey sales increased by 400%, which I imagine are female. I imagine all of these things are her like female followers, and then so all that stuff in my mind is like that 600,000 female probably followers.
There's-
20% of those dudes that don't follow football, but
Yeah,
like
for
Taylor
sure.
Swift.
yeah, I'm not saying, but yeah, good point.
One other stat: the New Balance 550, the red colorway that she wore at that game, sales were up 400% for that too.
Heinz put out a new ketchup.
Oh yeah, I
what's
did
it called?
See that.
Like
Some
Seemingly Ranch.
yeah.
I kind of like that mashup. Just the title from a product perspective.
So going back to like however many episodes ago it was when we were talking about when Schultze was talking about the like queen of pop, the queen of music and like that. In terms, I'm going to step out of the music, but in terms of relevance and power, it would seem to me that Taylor Swift is one of the most relevant and powerful female figures, and maybe just in general people in
The world.
U.S. maybe world, but I was going to say U.S. pop culture.
Middle America.
The world.
So that's
I mean,
also-
I think the
I'm
country.
actually glad you said that because I actually don't think that this effect would happen in basketball in general
It's
because
not middle
the
America sport.
viewers.
Not
Yeah.
It would only
Coastal
happen in
elites.
football or NASCAR. So she would have to have
Oh, I
dated
think
Ricky
you could do
Bobby.
baseball.
Too many Dominicans.
a lot of white people love baseball.
They
America's
do.
pastime.
They
Yeah.
do, but all the best are white boys.
That's I see what you're saying. No, Trout. I mean, Mike Trout and
There's good, but I'm
Ohtani.
saying it's like
Actually, there's
No,
a lot of
no, like
yeah.
the
dude,
look
there's
at
a lot of
pictures,
there's a
like,
lot of
yeah.
white dudes out there who are really good.
No,
just
but like,
Dominicans are good. Though.
say like in
Yeah.
the NBA,
As
because like what D-Book dated Kendall Jenner. Who can you see in the NBA Taylor Swift dating?
Nobody.
couldn't.
She's
It's
so
not the
granola, dude. It's not even funny.
I mean, like we said it, like Devin Booker.
I don't know if she is
She
though.
is.
I don't think she's.
What
granola.
makes her granola to you? I don't think she
her
is
teeth,
because they're white.
her overbite,
Oh,
her
that's
long skinny legs, her red lipstick, her inability to dance on timing.
You're talking about like
so. Wait, what
most-
do you call granola? Define granola for me.
that sounds like you're just
because the way that
Lack of flavor,
wait, granola can have a lot of
hard,
flavor.
crunchy exterior, same
She- I would-
interior,
wait,
hard. She's hard and
flavorless
crunchy.
almost. You need to add something to it to make it taste good.
No, because granola is the
You
thing
gotta
you add
dress
to
it up.
shit like that
Yeah, you
gives
gotta
it
dress it
flavor.
up.
And no,
You gotta dress
granola
it
is
up.
like the zhuzh that you add to like
Granola
oatmeal
is
that makes
hippie.
it like.
No,
For the
you
record,
gotta add it
yeah.
up. You gotta shake it up. You gotta, like she said, she gotta throw a little sugar on her, little raisins or something.
I
White people like that.
I don't. I know what you're saying with the granola label, but I'm saying granola itself is like
It's
what we buy in the
flavorless.
stores. No, that's like the shit that has all the sugar in it.
Okay, then
And,
she's grape nuts.
No way.
That's how I see her.
She ain't grape nuts.
That's how I see her.
I like grape nuts, but she. Ain't
I
grape
know that's
nuts.
how you. I get that,
That's
but
what I
I think you
yeah.
just have a disdain for her.
No, she can do what she does. She's just. Why couldn't you guys pick a hotter white girl to?
Who's the hotter white girl? Than
I mean,
that?
she is pretty damn like.
Well,
Hotter
she's.
white
I think
girl.
she's. I think she's
She's a-
gorgeous, but
she's-
she's like very. She's very all American. So like, who's do you find more attractive than Taylor Swift? White girl, not mixed or nothing.
I just want to say, shout out and congrats to her. Honestly,
who are the hot white girls though? Give me a couple.
This is subjective, so I'm asking you.
I'm gonna throw some out though.
you like Belle?
Belle?
The one didn't you said like
Kristen Bell?
Yeah, Kristen Bell.
Yeah, but she's not like banging bad. She's just
Well,
like,
but who? Yeah, but yours is like, what's your? Who would you name like in general?
oh, Iggy Azalea.
That's because she's like a
So
lot
wait.
of blackfishing though.
Yeah. So basically, you're saying that. I mean,
I'm just saying, Tay got no flavor. Like, give her like.
Well, because you don't like the all American white girl look.
I think she
that doesn't
does
appeal
have
to you.
flavor.
What flavor? Oh, okay.
She must
does have
have
flavor.
enough
It's a lot
flavor.
of MSG and salt.
I don't know.
No, Americans don't like it. Well,
Yes.
Doritos.
I
stand
think
corrected.
that
She's got generic spices.
I think that she is the female boss for white girls, like how a lot of other cultures have their boss version for them. Like I think I honestly think that's, I
Really?
know.
Well,
Kind
I mean,
of.
like, look at it, like, because a lot of people view. I take the view like Spanish, they're white.
No.
No, I'm saying I view them. A lot of people don't, but like a lot of people do. Like they're saying like Rosalia, she's white. Hard to grasp that, but like because they're saying that some criticisms of her is like she's riffing off of like Black American culture with her sound, her music, and everything.
That's cool. Her sound is not white.
No, I'm not saying that
It's
is
like a Spaniard sound, right?
like a Spaniard sound.
Kind of like her nationality, right?
I think she takes more from like Latin America reggaeton type.
That's what I'm talking about. It
That's
ain't
not
white.
Spanish though.
I don't hear her doing country.
I'm talking about. Are you talking about like just Hispanic, or are you talking about Spanish?
That's the same stuff.
Oh, that's not the same, my friend.
I know it's not regionally, geographically thought of the same, but it's the same.
It really isn't.
I know it's not, but it really is.
It's really not.
For his point to work, it has to be. So
Yeah, to conform to your view, then like
It's like
but-
how rap. There's regional rap, but it's not all the same. But it's all the same.
This is
No, this is not. We're
It'd
not
be like
talking
saying
about that.
this would be like saying
reggaeton's different
No,
than
I'll go-
corridos.
I'll go-
right?
I'll go off
It's
what you're
regionally
sa-
different.
No, but I'll go off what you're saying. Then, like culturally, it's different too. So, like the cultures in the Bay are different than the cultures in like Memphis.
But culturally, it's the same culture versus it being closer to
But they're not
rock
the-
or
they're not-
country.
they're not the
so
same
it gets lumped
culture.
in. That's the Bay is as hip hop as
No, but-
Atlanta is hip hop. That's why I'm saying Mexican music is the same as Spaniard music.
It is not anywhere
not.
close.
That's
I know it's not close, but I'm
There's
saying
no
it's-
corridos in Spain.
they have their type of that.
Well, you could say that about these have these
Anything,
type of
yeah.
anything, but the sound is not similar. Like you have like flamenco and stuff, but that's not the same. That's
But I would say all that is of Latin sound. Spanish music is all of Latin sound. Banda, reggaeton, it's all of Latin sound. Mexican,
no, but that's like
not Mexican. Latin. Latin's
Okay.
different.
Latin sound. And to me, Mexican music falls under Latin sound.
But like I see Latin as like North, Central, South America is Latin sound. I don't lump Spain in that. I don't.
That's why
I know
I'm
like
saying
your
the
thing,
Bay and Atlanta. Regionally, sonically, they don't sound anything alike, but it is still hip hop.
well, you're saying like, oh, it's still music.
It's in the same genre of music. It's lumped together. It's not going to be because they're in the Bay, they are country, and then this is hip hop. It's Latin music.
Well, we're
They're
off
different
topic here.
ethnic-
I don't agree with you on any
I
of
get
that.
they have different ethnicities,
but-
but it's Latin music.
Besides Iggy Azalea, who's a hot white girl you like?
Okay.
Just give me that.
Iggy's not hot? She got to be from
It's
America?
okay. No, she's
Wait.
just like
I was gonna say though, he followed this up where he's saying something about country. So like, I just think that you just don't like what your opinion of Taylor Swift is. You just don't like it because like she doesn't play country music either.
yeah,
Never
she's
said
not
she did.
country.
No, but earlier you
Maybe
were
she started
talking
out
about
with-
country music. Like you earlier were saying, and it sounded like you were referring to her as country
I'm
music.
saying her appeal appeals to the middle of America. That's it.
It does.
But it does beyond that though.
Not necessarily.
I think very necessarily. I think she's selling out every date that on her Eras tour.
How far does her appeal stretch into the rock world, the hip hop world,
No, wait.
Jazz World.
You just said Middle America. I'm just saying it goes across the United States. Like
now you're bringing genre, but like you're geographically is not the same as genre.
Wherever. She's the pop. She does pop. She doesn't. Do
so pop
country.
is everywhere. It's not Middle America only.
No, but because of her sound, it started as kind of country. She's kind of leans on the country-esque pop. You can say she doesn't, and that's your interpretation. But if you look at her old albums and how they're categorized, they would say country.
Yeah. Old. That was like 15 years ago. People can't change. You're gonna say that the Red album is country.
I'm gonna say it's not that left of a turn from other music she's put out that was labeled country.
I would say like maybe her newest stuff like that was going more folk. That is more country leaning, but I think a lot of her other stuff doesn't lean towards country at all. I think it's all pop sensibilities.
Like an Ariana Grande or like that kind of pop, right? Like, so she's an entertainer in the sense of where she can actually do stuff other than write a song and perform it, right? Because that's what a pop star is.
I think a pop star is just you're popular. I don't think it's necessarily a genre. Like when I say pop music, like there is somewhat of
to me, a pop star is an entertainer. She's not an entertainer.
I think
she's a songwriter. She's a great songwriter.
Wait, you're saying that
she is not an entertainer?
You're saying
she does not entertain a crowd. She entertains a crowd because they are fanatical over her music.
But that's like anybody. Beyonce is not an entertainer?
She's actually entertaining, Josh.
But she's entertaining a crowd who has a bunch of
No, but she's dancing. She's doing
Taylor Swift is dancing too.
No, she's not, Josh. No, she is not. No,
she
is not.
Like
Taylor Swift dances?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, but you're like, because her whole show is not choreographed. She does dance during certain parts. It's not all.
Well,
if you're an entertainer, you're entertaining people, right? That's like the definition of an entertainer.
There's levels, Josh.
So from no to yes, or like entertaining on different levels?
How would you say this is going to be a different, but we'll say Black, the artist Black, to a Chris Brown. How do they differ in their levels of entertaining a crowd?
I'd say anybody who plays in front of a live audience is an entertainer. Whether you're dancing or not, you're entertaining people. No? Even if you're just playing a piano, doesn't mean you're not a musician. You're an entertainer.
There's levels to it.
But you're saying she's not an entertainer.
I don't classify her as an entertainer. She's an artist. She's a songwriter.
I think
but that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I would call her an entertainer. Simply, I mean,
she's entertaining people.
Well, that and like if you take her live show, she has like multiple like wardrobe changes to match an experience, and that's entertainment. That is entertaining.
It's very tailored.
People only do that stuff to entertain.
Okay.
Like set changes,
I just
wardrobe
don't think
changes.
She's a great entertainer. Then.
That's different. Okay, I can.
Yeah,
I feel like
but you're
very
saying she's not an
lackluster
entertainer
in the realm of entertainment. She's a great songwriter. She's an okay singer. She lacks tremendously in the realm of entertaining.
But like, because you're not a fan of her, because it's like she sings like on her tour. Like I'm not a stan by any means, but she's playing 40 songs that she wrote, and she's doing wardrobe changes, dancers, set changes. I don't know how that's lackluster as an entertainer, and they're like people are paying like thousands of dollars for tickets. Yes, they might be her big fans, but like they're entertained. Schultze was entertained. He wasn't a fan of it at all. Yeah, but that's like, because they're white.
Yeah, that's a lot of it, Josh. Let's not gloss over that. Yes, that's a big part of her allure.
I find her entertaining. I'm not white.
How entertaining do you find her?
There's levels to it.
Exactly.
So I find her tremendously entertaining.
I don't know if I would agree to you saying that, but you said it.
You're saying my opinion's not valid?
No, you're saying it. So
how can you agree to my opinion? Yeah, exactly.
I have to believe what you're saying, but I just
think your opinion colors your and that's all of us, but your opinion of her very much colors your perception of her, which is like natural.
No, don't like the fact that like, okay, an entertainer is like an actual, like to me, it's like a triple threat type of thing. Like they're up there working their ass off, entertaining the crowd. She's not doing that. She sings. Great. All entertainers that are musical entertainers do that. That's the bar minimum to perform live, Josh.
I mean, I think you're downplaying her.
Of course I am,
so,
but I'm saying
so
that's
much,
the bare minimum of a musical act is to sing your songs, and that's
but that's not. But I mean, okay. First thing, I know you've never been to a show, and I know you've never watched a full show on her YouTube or anything like that. So I will say that your statement has to be somewhat limited to your experience.
I would say off the clips I've seen, she doesn't partake in a lot of choreographed dancing.
What clips? Like,
I don't think you've seen any clips from this last tour.
Does she partake in a lot of choreographed dancing?
Yeah, but wait, let me know what clips would you say these are
from her live tour that just went crazy.
But like,
did you guys not see any of the footage from that show?
I saw a lot of it,
and she was dancing like how Beyonce dances or entertains the crowd.
But like also like
Beyonce's not playing a
but that
instrument.
music's completely different. It doesn't matter the music instrument is that. If she was doing that to her music, it would be fucking weird. It's the wrong music. I think she plays to.
I don't think that at all. I think it's just she doesn't have those kind of. She can't do it, so she doesn't do it.
You would think that she would be dancing with the energy of Beyonce to her songs.
I think if she could, she would, and it would help her live performance. Yeah.
You're tripping.
I think if she could, she would.
That would be so out of pocket. That'd be so out of pocket if you went as a fan of her music and the she was dancing completely.
So then this is a better question. Is the caliber for white artists set so low that they don't have to do, or is it set so high for black people that they have to go above and beyond to see as seen as entertainers?
I think it's more for the latter, but I think
because what you were just saying right now is basically what she doesn't have to do that because her music doesn't warrant that.
No, because
that's what you just said, right?
Not warranted in that, like, a lot of her songs are ballads or something. You're not going to be dancing to ballads. She does have backup dancers doing choreographed routines, but
you've never seen like Madonna, Like a Virgin. That's a ballad, right?
Hey, that's not crazy. A ballad.
Yo, the amount of music that I like, who the front people have hype song can go hype to, and they don't.
What do you mean?
Like. You're saying that like she's not an entertainer because she just like sings or like her songs basically, right?
I say she's not very entertaining.
But that's like totally biased on your opinion. Like,
it is, but she's not very. And
that's a different statement though. Anyway,
yeah, she's not very entertaining. And to your point, you said her music doesn't warrant her to be entertaining.
Yeah, like I don't think it'd be like if I went and saw City in Color and he was fucking headbanging and smashing his guitar, I'd be like, this does not match.
Her music's way more upbeat than that.
But you're still,
have
but
some
you're
kind of.
She does have that. She has backup dancers,
of course, and to that point exactly. Are they not moving and they're just standing there?
They're
or
not.
What's going on?
It's not the same type of focus.
But they're doing something, right?
But look, like a DJ is not an entertainer to you. Because they're not doing anything. All of their sets are pre-recorded. That crowd seems very entertained.
Their job is just to entertain the crowd.
But not only that, though, it sounds like
they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything you're saying.
It also sounds like you're trying to make a black to white statement. And I would love you to expand upon that if you are, because it's still been a bit convoluted.
Well, it's easy for Taylor Swift to change metrics like that. Yeah, because she is a white artist that has a good grip upon middle of America white females, and that's proven with the stats you just read.
And what I would say to you though is it would seem to me though it's not a black and white thing, because there's a whole lot of black rappers out there that barely do jack shit and the whole fucking crowd will go insane. I think it's probably more of a woman thing and a black woman to a white woman thing, because if you're making the
probably
you know what I mean?
I only compared Beyonce to her in the dancing, and that is very true, because for a black woman to do the same thing, you would have to do a lot.
But don't you think
you can't just stand up there?
SZA,
She's got to do a lot, and she's still not Taylor Swift.
But she's not. How much is she doing?
She's not like her.
She's
A
not-
lot of her
I mean,
music isn't
it's
like
really
her
boring.
dancing though.
It's really boring.
And she's probably one of the biggest artists right now, currently selling out all of her shows. And she's
nowhere near Taylor Swift.
I'm not
No,
saying
nobody is,
I'm
though.
not saying
Yeah,
that.
people are, just not her.
I'm not.
There's like a handful of people,
Exactly.
but it's like
You have to
no, but
compare
like
those people together. You can't go out of realm.
No, I'm just saying that what you're trying to. You're like your
her,
state.
you have to compare her to like Drake or Beyonce because they're up there. You can't compare her to SZA. She's not up there.
No, but I'm just saying in terms of You're talking about entertaining and people not being entertaining.
Okay.
Like I'm saying that SZA must be a pretty big entertainer for herself to sell out all those shows, and it's not like her music's warranting some crazy ass energy. Like it's not that type of thing. And I mean, you can even take Drake, put Drake against Beyonce. Beyonce's putting way more energy out there than Drake.
Well, that's
so
what
what
she has to.
So you're gonna call Drake then not an entertainer?
No, but I'm not going to negate the obvious. It's a lot easier for males in the music industry. It's a lot easier for white females in the music industry over black females. These are obviouses.
So then what's your point?
I don't think it's that big of a deal that she can move the metrics like that because it's kind of like it's Taylor Swift.
I mean, yeah, but
It would be like
You're-
if Michael Jackson did something when
What-
he was
what-
alive.
but you're saying
like,
it's undeserved. Like she's been at this for 20 something
It is
years.
kind of undeserved to me it is undeserved.
Well, but that's just like that's just being a little bit stubborn because you don't even like you said to yourself you need to listen to more music outside of like the genres that you're fond of. Like it's like you don't I don't like her music specifically, but I like a lot of singer-songwriters like that are in her genre. And I know you're not going to be into them. You're going to be like, it's low energy. I think this is boring, but like, it's just because it's not your thing.
Point. What's your point?
Like, well, that's just like seeing your point is like, you just don't like her. That's why you're kind of like downplaying her achievements and stuff.
But I mean, I would feel like a lot of NFL dudes did the same thing when their girlfriends probably talked to them about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce this week. It's like, babe, have you heard of this guy named Travis Kelce dating Taylor
But you know
Swift?
that's trolling though. Like that's not the same thing.
I think that 20% may have been trolling, but I really do feel like a lot of females, one, never heard of Travis Kelce because they don't follow football.
No, exactly. Like,
Totally.
but it's a social media trend. How much gravitas does it have?
Well, I mean, it only affects the people who care about football, so that's why I said to the
It
football
doesn't affect
dudes.
people playing football or who like
I didn't say
football.
play-
It's like
it does affect the dudes that follow football because they're like, how can you tell me that
It
this
affects-
guy has no relevance in something that you have no idea in about?
it doesn't affect their life though. It's like a
Then how-
statement.
okay, then with that kind of mentality, why would anyone care about anything, Josh?
Wait, go back to the relevance part because I just want I missed that part. You said like something about like saying that he has no relevance. Like who is saying that? Like
Females that only heard of Travis Kelce through Taylor Swift
yeah.
are now telling, I guess, I would just phrase it as men who follow the sport of football.
Okay.
Have you heard of this person that
Uh-huh.
is dating this person?
It's
Yeah.
a TikTok
And to
trend.
that,
It was
of course I've heard of this person.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
one of the biggest persons
Yeah,
in
yeah.
something that I'm a fan of.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
So it's a trend
TikTok
that if it's a
It was-
TikTok trend,
It was a TikTok trend. Like, oh, babe, did you
Well,
know
isn't
that
that
that Taylor Swift really put Travis Kelce on the map? Like nobody knew of him before. It's an obvious trolling thing. It's a trend. There's like no.
That's a trend, yes, but the fact that I think people
Got the
really
trend.
felt that way, that's not a trend. The trend
I
came
think-
from actual feelings.
Yeah, I think the reality is that he's more known than he ever was before because of Taylor Swift.
Yeah, facts.
To a whole new audience, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the reality, and then I think that she basically means that her name has that power on it, and like,
Because these aren't new football fans that.
no, they're
No,
not.
I think
they're
it's
not,
a-
they're
I
not
think it's-
football fans.
I think it's a net positive
But I'm saying
for
that-
everyone.
Oh yeah, of course, 100%. But I'm saying
Yeah.
the new fans of Travis Kelce probably don't even follow football.
No, because they're not his fans; they're her,
Her
fans.
fans.
I think out of
Yeah.
all of it, like he gets
If
like
they
he might
are-
have new fans, but 5% of that
Trickle.
will actually follow football.
Trickle.
Like might actually like get really into football.
Maybe.
The
No,
reality
5% of the whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Other ones don't give a shit or they'll fall off, but 5% probably will get into football. Maybe not watch every game. I don't even watch. I watch like before playoffs, I watch maybe like 2-3 games, and it's with my mom when I visit her on the weekends. Like,
is there someone that could get you into like investing that heavily into something?
Or like that I care about?
Or is that just a female thing?
No, because I think that you've experienced it when you know a person is
No,
fucking...
I'm saying on this magnitude.
On this magnitude?
Is there anything that just completely, completely flip?
Like if a man started dating in her prime, like Venus Williams or Serena, like in their like top, and then the guy was like, "Oh yeah, she's known now because of me."
But that's the thing. Is it possible flipping, or is it only because of this kind of scenario?
I don't think that there are people out there that have that fandom. Though I was thinking about this, and the only name that came to my mind, sadly, is Joe Rogan. Because he's, I think, the only person that can probably put his name
Joe Rogan
on
dating Taylor
something
Swift.
and like literally put that person on just because of his name. Even if you love him or hate him, it doesn't matter because you don't like Taylor Swift. But
I don't not like her.
Yeah, but like we don't care about it, but we're up here talking about it.
Yeah,
and
I don't
feel
not like
that,
her though. That's the thing.
It sounds like you don't like her though.
No,
she's a hell of a songwriter.
You got and like the respect of that power on the name. I mean, like
she's a hell of a songwriter. No one can say she's got the greatest voice. No one can say she's the greatest entertainer, or even in the top 5. But I would even say in the top 5, songwriting abilities, she has a better chance of getting into a top 5, and that's even tough.
I will
the
say
greatest
though, like
entertainer thing though is so subjective.
But even though,
really
like I would say,
Yeah.
like the greatest singing voices, besides a few,
They
like
don't
they're
write.
never the best technically in their
Well, they
proficiency.
don't write the lyrics. They
Yeah,
normally
but like
get
I mean,
coached them.
like in terms, like look at male vocalists, like who's probably besides like Freddie Mercury, who has like a really good voice that
Elton
sings
John.
really well.
a lot of,
Stevie Wonder,
Usher.
yeah.
There's a lot of males that can
good
sing.
mhm. There are a pretty damn good amount.
But I mean, like
Fucking Sam Smith.
no, I'm like
Michael
throughout the
Bublé.
ages,
Michael
like
Bublé.
well, Michael Bublé is like
He can sing, dude.
he can sing, but he's like kind of playing this role of like
He's definitely
crooner.
playing a role, but he can definitely sing.
Yeah, but he can.
No, but I'm
sing.
saying in like 20 years.
he
he
can
can
still do what he's
sing.
doing.
No, but
He's
Sam
doing-
Smith, people don't know about Sam Smith.
No, you're,
Usher, maybe, probably.
20.
And
He'll, be,
Wait, it's okay. So Chris Brown in 20 years,
he'll still be relevant.
Yeah,
he might still be making music.
dude. Sam.
He'll still be
all the names that we just mentioned in 20 years of song, they will still be playing their songs.
But they're not going to be like.
All of the ones we mentioned.
They're not going to say like one of the greatest male vocalists of all time.
But that kind of gets lumped in when you're talking about
No, exactly.
Like,
No, that's
singer.
what
When
I'm
you say
saying,
Good
like-
singer, like a Luther Vandross. I don't consider him an entertainer. Motherfucker could sing though.
No,
Yeah.
like no, but that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like
and that's what I'm saying about
Marvin
Taylor.
Gaye.
That's what
And
I'm.
Marvin Gaye's a great singer.
Great singer, not the best entertainer. And I'm not taking anything away from their artistry. I'm just saying what they're good at and what they're not good
Well,
at.
I guess look
and
at,
I'm
like-
not going to say they're good at something just because other people say
like
they're
look
good
at Bob Dylan. He's one of the greatest
Entertainer.
voices.
Terrible singer.
No, I mean terrible
Writer.
voice, but he's like so distinctive.
writer.
But he's a great writer.
Writer.
He
People
was an
like the word, yeah.
amazing writer.
But like people know his voice.
'Cause he's a poet. He was
People
a
know the
poet who could
voice.
play the guitar and who could write a song, but he couldn't sing, and he just said, "Fuck it, no one's gonna.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it." And
no,
then,
that's right though.
And then his shtick, the way he did it, happened to work. Because if he was that bad of a singer, but just
You're not gonna
sang,
make it.
just sang straight, it wouldn't have worked.
Not
But the
gonna
way
make
he like crooned it to get like, yeah.
Well, I guess then like, what do you think of like Adele? You can't deny her
Great
voice
singer,
Amazing.
terrible entertainer.
because she stands there.
That's
Like-
just clear.
Well,
I mean, it's
okay.
crazy.
That's just clear.
She does, but I've seen many videos of her when she's singing and walking around her crowd, and she'll be singing and like signing shit at the same time,
Of
or singing
course,
and
but
taking
she's-
photos.
she
That's
don't-
entertainer shit.
I
That's
get
entertainer
it,
shit.
but I'm not going to her show and expecting her to even break a sweat.
no, but I mean,
That's what,
so-
and that's what I'm saying. Her level of entertainment is low to me because when I expect entertainment, I expect to be entertained,
Well,
Yeah.
did you
not to be vocally wowed.
I assume that we were because I think she's great in both. Like you were
Sometimes
there at that
vocally
Coachella
wild.
where Florence and the Machine played.
Oh yeah.
Entertaining. I thought she was entertaining. Great voice.
what was the most entertaining show for you that in your like, so I can gauge
Entertaining?
entertaining? You were entertained through and through, and try not to pick.
No, it's gonna be Dre's.
That's what I was gonna say. Try not to pick that one.
Why? Because that's entertaining.
I know.
That Coachella
But the
show?
only reason why I'm
Yeah.
saying not that one's because I want to pick an artist, like
Okay.
an artist.
But that
that's
whitest-
entertaining.
That was-
Whitest
that
Boy
was-
Alive was
that was
entertaining
That's
as fuck.
enter-
But they weren't doing anything, right?
well, I mean, they weren't entertaining. The
Boom,
music's
boom,
cool.
boom.
You know who was super
But exactly,
entertaining?
that's
The
just like playing-
Rapture.
entertaining.
The Rapture were entertaining. It was a great show.
remember.
Entertaining. We'll say entertaining. Something Kanye did because he's entertaining.
Wait. On that,
What
on
show,
that
though?
note, like, look at the first
'Cause
Coachella we
Coachella
saw.
Kanye-
That was terrible.
That was-
not
Coachella thing was not
entertaining.
entertaining.
Not good
But
voice, no nothing.
touring Kanye with the mountain type shit or him floating in the box.
No, that's
entertaining.
Yeah, okay, maybe.
I don't know about the floating. It's entertaining.
The
but
one
he's
with the
not-
Coachella, he's
no.
got the MPC, the boom,
That
and
was
all
not
the,
entertaining.
with all the dancers and stuff and all the shit changing around. And
It
shit.
wasn't entertaining.
No, I saw
Not
him
to the degree of him being entertaining. It was,
Okay, I
it was
can see that. I can see
entertainment,
that.
I guess.
I saw him on the floating thing. That was one of the best shows I ever
All
seen.
right.
entertaining,
Cool.
right?
It was entertaining. It was great. It was
Yeah.
everything about
because
it.
you're kind of
Because like
you're bringing something new into it. That's why that was entertaining because
Yeah.
you don't see that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's okay.
I could've
we're
thrown
gonna
my shoe at him.
We're gonna agree to disagree.
It's 30 feet away.
But yes, there's levels to the degrees of entertainment.
Yeah.
You can be entertained by people in all different capacities. But then when we're talking about an entertainer in the musical realm, I figure it's gonna have a little bit of good vocals, a little bit of dancing, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's not gonna be only one thing good.
yeah. I think that's also
And
in
it
that
depends
sense,
on
it's
your
hella
affinity
rare.
for the musician.
And your affinity for
Because,
the
like,
musician.
don't you remember, like, I liked The Weeknd, but that first Coachella set he ever did was fucking boo-boo, right?
It was
It was
Yeah.
he didn't sound good,
Kid
and he
Cudi,
wasn't
entertaining.
Oh my god, so entertaining.
And I don't even really like him, but that was
but that was
entertaining.
entertaining as hell. That was one of the most entertaining shows.
It's just
Yeah.
you're right, but it's like no, you're right. It's how your affinity of the artist and
It comes down to a lot
of variables.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sorry, Taylor. I still don't like you, but you can do what
you
you do.
just said you don't
I
not
mean,
like her.
I-
You don't like her, but you don't not like
I
her.
don't not like
For the
her.
record, though, with those type of stats, and then we can go on to something else. That's one of the most powerful people currently in social structure. That's insane to like.
That's more than Kamala Harris.
Like,
Do
it
you
reminds-
think it's really
Kamala.
power though? Like,
I mean,
how much
I'm saying
of
it's-
the needle can it change into something else?
I don't think that like. Let me take back the word power. I think most influence. Because
That's power, though.
I kind of think of but it's kind of like this. Like it kind of reminds me of like when two people start dating and then their friends start following this person on Instagram and like stuff like that. Like you meet people and then you break up. Some stay, and then like some go. I feel like that's what happens here. So the more interesting thing would be like what
if it was like volleyball or something? Do you think it would have been that?
No.
Because it's football, right?
Well,
It's America's.
and
no, that's
there's a
baseball.
lot of stuff that
America's
does line
pastime.
up with it. Like it's a championship team.
They all have a
And-
name. They both have their own
Well,
name.
but yeah, he's
individually.
one of the most like
exactly.
biggest personalities in the
In
sport,
the sport.
in general.
Yeah.
So that's like a given almost.
They are both kind of,
He's funny. He's likable.
Yeah.
He's like a Gronk, and that's
And,
why
like-
I say Gronk.
and,
And a lot
like-
of people that don't follow the sport,
Totally.
they know Gronk.
Yeah.
Well, but also
Yeah.
like this is not to write off, but like black people like him. Not every black
But
person
that's
likes
why I also
Brady.
say Gronk
you know?
too, because Gronk was out there dancing on touchdowns.
Yeah.
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 He's
He's a fool.
he's
though,
a likable
sometimes.
guy. Travis Kelce seems to be a likable
guy.
person.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he gets the airtime. That's why we know of him before Tay Tay.
I wonder if then that's a statement for him is because Taylor Swift fans think, well, if she likes him, he must
Must be.
really be who he is. He's
There's
really
something-
he really is that type of guy.
There's something about that, Travis.
That's like there's just like a level that Taylor Swift fans have. They're like, oh, she likes
Regardless,
it.
it
We like
sucks even if it's real for
Also,
them
she-
because they got a lot on it.
Yeah.
It's a small thing, but like she drives people to register to vote at her shows, which is like a small thing, but I think it's a good
Personally?
thing. Yeah.
That's
Like
so dangerous.
there's well, but how is it any different
I
than anywhere
mean-
else? At a vote, like at a thing,
She's
like
taking random fans in her car driving somewhere.
no.
No, they get at the.
That's what I was like. She's doing it personally. Like she's just la 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 la. la.
I mean, personally, she's saying like, "Go vote,
Like
you fucking
that's
jerks." but-
dangerous.
Does she have like a voter sign up at her?
yeah,
I
She
get you.
recommends people register to vote because
Speaking of voting,
Oh, you want me
I'm
to
gonna
take
spin this one super smooth. Speaking of voting, Feinstein died.
I thought you were gonna
Oh,
say.
no.
I thought you were gonna. It's right there. It's like there's Pennsylvania is instating an
Oh.
automatic voter registration,
Oh
and so I mean we'll just glaze over it real
gone.
quick. But
Feinstein
no! Wait. I actually somehow just kept on glazing over that and didn't read it. So Pennsylvania's auto voter registration for all of their
I think
population?
if you're of age, and you don't,
It's like
and you're not
auto-draft.
if
You
you
just
and
pick
you're not
the
a
top
felon,
player.
you're just registered to
That'd be
vote, so you don't have to do it
hilarious.
yourself, and
If
so you can
don't
just write in
click
on the
in
primaries.
time, it picks it for you.
Oh yeah,
Just imagine
That's what I'm
that.
saying. It's like auto draft.
So you vote no matter what. If you don't choose, you get the
You get
auto
the
drafted
auto-draft.
vote.
well, I heard at the last
Terrible.
the last GOP convention, Trump was not there, and he got riled up because he's got a grudge against Pennslania, and he was like,
They
he
did him
was,
dirty or something.
I mean, it was one of those states, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Michigan, that like, just talking about recounts, and he was mouthing off about Pennsylvania's auto voter registration like thing. I don't know if it's implemented or if it's in the motions, but he was like talking about that because he's like, oh, voter fraud, so bad.
You would do a good Trump.
That is pretty damn good.
Never tried, but I got the best ever. Best ever.
So basically, all that means though is that everyone there will be registered. To vote.
Yeah, so you
they'll
don't
just-
have to like. You could just go there
Oh, it's just
and
to
vote.
register. You don't have to vote.
Yeah, no, you don't
Yeah,
have to vote, but
literally
it's like
just-
if so you don't have to go through the thing. You're just already registered, and then you could just go there.
I mean,
vote for your candidate.
if you're
I don't know if that means with primaries or if it's just for the presidential election.
Loki, I thought TikTok like auto verified people,
probably
or is it Instagram?
the idea though that you have to like register to vote, if you think about it as like
Stupid.
yeah,
Makes no
if you
sense.
really
I
it
should
makes
have
up
the inherent right.
100%.
It's a
to vote.
civic. It's a civic
100%.
duty. So if it's a duty, like you
Am I
should.
not American? Like,
Non to
what?
register.
I mean, I should really all it should be is like, that's still too much because I'm like I have my birth
should
certificate.
just be able to
You should be able
go
to just
do
go
it.
and do it. Yeah, yeah.
Obama didn't have his
Put down
birth
your
certificate.
address. Go do it.
Were we talking about birth certificate thing with you? Yeah.
He was born at Martin Luther King. It's not even
It
a
doesn't
real
even
hospital.
exist anymore.
It doesn't even exist anymore.
It doesn't. Where was it? Oh,
Was
here.
it?
Oh, here. Weird.
No.
Where is it now? Just people
Doesn't
grilling you.
exist.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
Well, we could go over that and then say, Diane Feinstein. I've heard Feinstein, but
Feinstein.
I've heard Jewish people say Feinstein, which I think is like the popular pronunciation is Feinstein, but I think it's
Frankenstein.
Feinstein. But she did
At
at 91.
She should have been like not sitting actively
At all.
and gone.
Well, because she gave her daughter something, the power of attorney, which is like no small thing, but she's voting on these issues that affect
It's insane.
300 million people in the country.
Yeah.
yeah, she can still do that.
Oh, let me
safe.
Let
Wait,
me
but
read.
the fact that she died, that doesn't mean she's leaving her seat, though, right?
She can
Because she's
weekend at
she's a Cal-
Feinstein.
she's a California senator, so Gavin Newsom has to appoint somebody, and because he said he was like he was promoting, or he was like they're expecting him to put as an interim senator like a black woman in his place because he's been like hyping that up, but I think there was something running for her
Cardi
seat.
B.
No, close. I think Barbara Ross or something.
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross, who is also dead. So this is like a fruitless endeavor. But yeah, I was reading something about like Diane Feinstein. I think she was. We were talking about this before. She was like just holding on to the power because she was like the influence. Like her husband.
Now that I think, though, it's probably because she couldn't open her fingers.
That too. To open and sign something
She looked
over.
like she had that rigor mortis.
I'm always
But like, yeah, her husband
holding.
is the director of a firm who got like
Is he still alive?
military contracts for like Afghanistan worth up to like 600 million, like all that military industrial complex. People are saying she's architect of mass surveillance, architect of whistleblower persecution, one of the proponents of the Iraq War. She's a proponent of internet censorship, and she's a sock puppet for the establishment.
She's Mr. Sacco,
Yeah,
mankind.
but a very maybe
Mr.
even
Hank.
crustier than that. And it sucks because if she would have like retired about 15 years ago, she had like, despite the things I said, like by the general public, she had a decent legacy.
Yeah.
of she did have to make her way in a very male dominated political system, which is no small feat. Just like I don't like her, but Hillary Clinton.
What about her?
Like they had to do some shit to like they had to do some shit to rise to get to the places they did, but I feel like they had to pretty much act I guess I don't know if maliciously is the right word, but they're just gaming the system just to rise in the ranks, just like many males do before them. But she could have retired or died 15 years ago, and it would have been a much better legacy. And now she was getting wheeled around to these Senate votes and shit, and she would be talking, and she forgot what the person who just asked her question what they just said, and she would just repeat herself. And
she had that like one low hanging eye too, huh?
She got low hanging a lot of things.
Yeah.
Fruit. I mean, low hanging.
What's
fruit.
wild to me is talking about somebody who died at 91 who was in office. Like they were like just.
It's time for Trey. Sean.
If this was a
Trey Wage.
If you were just talking about somebody that was 91 and then like you're like, oh yeah, they passed away.
They shouldn't
like,
drive.
I mean, it's just
They're
like, oh
voting on
yeah,
our well-being,
but
man.
like you're 91 and you're working. Okay, wait, where do you work? Oh, you work for the government? Oh, where? Oh, like you're literally in a voting seat? That's insane at 91. That's insane at 75. Like, you're just so...
I told you 60...
Still too low.
I do agree
5
with a lot of the stuff you say, but like I think there are certain people
I know I'd be
that
saying
are very
it
lucid.
brash and aggressively.
Well, I mean, it's more
gotta be said.
It's more
Throwing
outliers.
numbers
It's more outliars. Like
Thick.
Bernie Sanders still has
I'm impressed
you're
with
right.
him.
vivacious, but he's one of
still
the.
there.
He's
he's not
maybe
vivacious. Vince McMahon at 70, he could be president.
I mean, didn't he's
no,
juiced.
he's trash though.
Could be juiced.
Yeah, he is juiced and he's
juiced,
trash.
bro.
He's juiced trash.
I'm not saying politics. I'm just saying he looks great for his age.
I mean,
Yeah, but yeah, no.
That's all we need, dude.
Well, but like Bernie Sanders, he's active. He's still and he remembers where he is.
And he doesn't
Sometimes.
freeze.
Yeah,
Bernie's just too wild,
Mitch
though, dude,
McConnell
to be
will come in
honest.
for you.
But he really isn't that wild.
He's been saying the same shit he has
He's-
like for the
he's-
past 30 years.
yeah,
So he's
he's
not
not that
changing his
wild.
views.
Because he can't. He doesn't have the cognizant, the wherewithal to do that anymore. He's lost that ability.
He's the most
I think-
cognitive motherfucker
I think
out
he
there.
just really truly believes in his plan so much so that like he's 10 toes on it. Like he's not gonna move.
Hang 10, bro.
You don't need that either, though. You need someone that's going to work with the system.
No, but then you just keep the status quo if you work with the system.
You can't just change it over.
I know you're all about you just
Just
waiting.
change it
You just want to get in that tax bracket. I know,
do we-
Trey.
how
I
do
know
we-
you want that. You don't want
How
to
do
pay
we
those high
just change it
taxes.
how do we change it overnight, though?
You have to start a little bit of change to change. You can't just stay the same and expect change to happen.
Well, my first part of change is don't elect anyone over 60,
Except Bernie Sanders.
especially Burn Dog.
Get out of town. You're not welcome here
Ah,
anymore.
you doing the burn?
You just said don't do it, but you didn't say we can't do it. So you're just saying, hey, don't do it. That's all I can say.
We're seeing what happens when we do.
Freedom of choice.
I mean, yeah.
Well,
Although
yeah.
we think about all the great content that Mitch McConnell gave just by mouth open again.
Yeah, but great memes. If he would,
Sorry. Not
Great
sorry.
memes all freeze the same.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Biden was a segregationist.
He's terrible.
He's not a good person at all. He with Barry, he was likable because he didn't have any power.
He
Barry
wasn't
was-
good either.
That's why.
He was just likable.
Yep.
Yeah, he was likable.
Because he did the ice cream pictures with his little fucking glasses on. They made him like a little meme before it was a thing. It's like, oh,
Low
there's-
key, we just get rid of the president. We don't need him.
I mean,
It's like we should just have a bunch of representatives that we elect instead.
and then we should be a republic. We should never become a country.
It's like we should be a democracy.
What?
I think we should just all do what we want to do, and then
So anarchy.
I love how you live in this world where like, yeah, you can do whatever you want. So we have no rules. No, there's
No, there's
rules.
rules.
So,
and there's consequences. If you want to do whatever, you can do them,
So
but
we
there's
can't do
consequences.
whatever you want. No, you can do
No,
it.
you can do it.
But whatever happens
Yeah,
to you,
you
it's
can-
on you.
do whatever you want.
So aren't those rules are basically laws? No.
Not necessarily, because you
Whose
don't have to
laws?
follow 'em.
Not my laws.
For it to be a law, I would ask you to follow it. I'm not asking you to follow shit.
Well,
But if you don't, you fucked.
Life.
That's life.
Well, I mean, talking about laws or policies. I guess we got to pay our student loans back.
No, you don't say.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to.
I mean,
but there's consequences if you don't. If you don't want to pay them.
what the crazy consequence that I think of is like what happens when people can't pay them.
The same thing that always
We can't pay them now, so I mean,
It's the same thing that happens.
well, the whole thing that's crazy is interest starts accruing at the end of October.
No, you get on. There's certain plans where it won't. You gotta hop on one of those.
Feed America plans.
Whatever. I know not everyone gets them, but they did give like.
I hope I qualify.
A couple
for one of those,
different
'cause I don't want to
options.
start
You're
paying
black
them
or
anytime soon.
Bro, you haven't like signed up for a plan. It starts tomorrow. On the 1st is the first day of the plan to pay back.
This is news to me. I thought it was the 31st. I thought it was Halloween. Wait, is Halloween on the 31st? I'm busy on Halloween.
It said that student loan starts October. He's like the 31st, right?
Like
when you say October,
it starts on Halloween.
I mean that technically is the last day that I suppose. I don't think that's how it works.
But I mean, it's the same thing that happens when people don't pay. Just default,
Just let it-
credit.
It's just
blase,
crazy
blase,
when you think
blase.
about $33 trillion in debt, which whatever that means, because I don't necessarily what is.
That's
nothing.
like the government, the government in general, right?
Yeah, the government
Okay.
general 30 trillion. And it also makes me laugh that our elected officials have the ability to
Give
not
money out.
no, but to not make a deal. So then the government shuts down. It's like we're gonna vote for you guys to do your job, but you
not do
also
your
have
job.
the power not to do your job. That's kind of good. But yeah, so you have the 33 trillion. You have the 8% mortgage increase.
Oh yeah, mortgage. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like 8%.
Damn, that's a high.
It's the highest it's
It's the highest
been,
ever been.
bro.
Yeah, and
Wasn't
then,
it like 5% like a few years ago?
yeah, and then you have all the paying back, and it all is like at the exact same
The
time.
paying back or the paying?
the paying
back?
of the student loans and the
All I
repayment,
heard was pain.
and the repayment is on the idea or the hope. I'll say that it's on the hope that people actually will and have money. And like we've been living in kind of a not real world since like.
Since Barry wanted hope.
Well,
That's what he ran
I was
for.
gonna say since like COVID gave out free money and then jobs change, and then like in the past 2 years we've become much more of like a strike culture, like which I don't know if it's bad or good, but the culture of like work in the U.S. is
You mean to give power to the common worker?
yeah, I
Or
guess,
taking back our power?
I guess that, but I also mean it in the sense
Well,
of
we better take back everything that comes with it.
What you mean?
Mm.
That was a prolific response.
That's
It said
exactly
so.
what that
It said
means.
so much.
Yeah,
with
wait.
saying so little.
That's exactly what that means.
Mm.
Everybody
What?
wants the good, but not the bad.
I mean that's pretty, I guess, human nature. But what's the bad that comes with taking back? What are they taking back? What are people? When you said
He's saying taking back the power
but like
just the power of labor.
of labor.
Because like how
see, I don't necessarily. I don't know if I agree with that. I think they are taking like there is a voice to like take back the power of labor. I just mean the sense where like right now there is like the sense of authority to say I'm going to strike and we're going to strike, which
That's where we are.
which I don't. Yeah, but
You
I'm
get a trophy even if you lose.
no, because I'm
you
not.
don't have to win to
I'm
be
not-
a good person.
I'm not saying that in the sense. I
But you
think
are.
no. I just think like strikes aren't like if they follow what you're saying and it's to take the labor back. I think it's great. That's a positive thing. I think that's also like a fully optimistic point of view. I think some people just want to strike because they want to.
What does that mean though? Take labor back.
No, I think it's like realizing
If
the
it
power.
was-
That's realizing like we said in a previous episode, like the only power that the average person has, the average laborer has, is to strike, to withhold labor, because that's produces capital, which produces profit. So I think the basic thing is that for most of the people who are striking, the raises or their wages have not kept up with inflation, which is like, I don't think that's a crazy demand to like because it's what, like 5% every year. I don't think that's a crazy demand, but it's being framed as outrageous or unrealistic.
It's more unrealistic than outrageous.
But
Maybe
but all these corporations are reporting record profits, and the CEOs are still getting raises.
Record profits by paying people more. That's why we have recorded record profits. We ain't paying
That's
shit.
what I'm saying. You could still record profits,
Not record highs.
but not record profits.
But
But that's all under the system.
But even under that mentality, like, I know that usually it's like, okay, like, but it's not going to happen now, so they can worry about it later. But like, you can't always record record highs.
Well,
Like,
it's unsustainable. But that's what it's saying. Like, but like if you paid the workers like an increasing wage that was kept up with inflation,
Yeah.
you'd have way less unrest and turnover with all the jobs, because you don't have to work multiple jobs. You don't have to
But
like
they're
be
not in the
under
business
the
of
stress.
worrying about that. That's the greatest answer. They're not in the business of worrying about that.
But they choose not to be. Doesn't mean that
No, they don't choose not to be. They're not in that business.
No, but like-
that, like, you saying that they're not in that business, you're stating then that caring about the individual or listening to the individual to pay them what they would consider a fair wage will never be and could never be in the business of their job.
It could be, but I don't think it will ever be.
I think there's some businesses where it is.
Of
right
course,
now.
there's some businesses, but I just think on the grand scheme.
I
of
think it's
things-
because it was never integrated into the system, and it started with a certain way of doing things,
Exactly.
and they just keep that legacy up. Like it's
Good
always
use of
they're
word. Turnaround. I like that.
they're beholden to their shareholders and their board,
Yeah, definitely.
and there are I think most of the examples where you could say where workers are super satisfied and they love their jobs, it's always a small example, and people say it can't be scaled up to that level. But I think it's because you're always chasing profits, you're always chasing record margins. Like that's unsustainable, because to get gains in one area, you have to have losses in another, whether that's turnover or cutting raises. Like something always has to be sacrificed.
A friendly sacrifice?
Well, that's
Make
with that
a
saying.
sacrifice.
Make
Why
a
couldn't the
sacrifice.
King
sacrifice?
Julian?
And I'm not a proponent of this, but sometimes and most of the time, the sacrifice falls upon the employees.
No, that's what it
Yeah,
always
I think
does.
it always does. Until it doesn't.
Involuntarily.
Until it doesn't. There's been a lot, like it's more often higher percent follows on the employees, and that's like what sacrifice is. And generally, till it gets to a point where it falls on one or two or three of the people up. But statistically, there's just more employees in general. It's easier to be like it falls on 100 heads.
Well, what you were saying before about CEOs, like as a very important job as it is, they're highly replaceable. And it could be said the same about anyone along the
Anyone
hierarchy
who's
of a
not
company.
The owner of the company is replaceable in a heartbeat.
Well, but if they're not the CEO,
Even the CEO.
CEO.
no,
I'm
like
talking about
as
the
long as
owner
if the
company.
owner is
Oh,
not
as
the
long as they're
CEO,
not the CEO.
if it's
Yeah,
not
you're
the
just
same
the
thing,
owner.
then you're easily replaceable no matter
Easily.
what.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Because your job isn't like,
It's not based on you.
it's
Your
not-
job is
yeah.
based off of me.
yeah.
It's basically a war of
it's also-
attrition.
It's also based on the fact of you doing your job.
That's
As soon as you stop doing your job, then in that case, or I decide that you're not doing your job, and yeah, it's with the lower skilled, I guess, or lower level positions. For those, it's like they usually get the cut first. They usually get that first because it's easier to be like, oh, I'm gonna take these things out. And there's a whole lot of
it's easier to replace that if
well, that's to say there's a whole lot of tools now that because with time comes technology. There's been so many tools implemented to get rid of people, to take it down, and that's a consistent step.
automation, everything. Like we're the kind of the assembly line of everything is to make it more automated and outsourced. That's pretty much the two main strategies for a lot of things. And you can only do so much, and you're keeping up with trends. But I think it's a war of attrition. Just I guess this could be a segue, but the WGA, they reached a tentative agreement with the studios, so they're allowed to go back to work. SAG is still striking, but I mean, I think they had terrible PR. The studios all had terrible PR. Those CEOs were not doing a great job with all these leaks that were going around of how they really felt. And that is how they really felt, I think. Like, we're going to wait until these writers or actors starve, and then we'll have them crawling back to us. But it's like, it's kind of like, do you sacrifice the end of the year profits, the Q1, Q2, whatever, or do you sacrifice the whole industry? Which is what kind of like striking, whether it's an auto union worker or it's a WGA writer, like you're kind of going on a limb of like, oh, do we want this industry to fail and we're going to have to rebuild it, have the studios fail, or do we just meet some somewhat simple demands? But it's like in what you were saying with record profits, like everybody's always chasing that, like it's almost incompatible. But though, like I think with Disney, the demands of the WGA and SAG of what the end of the year, I don't know if it's profits or revenues, but it was like at most like 2% of what the end of the year revenues were. Like it was 2% of the amount. It's like, it's easily doable.
Yeah.
But do you want to sacrifice that? Because then you sacrifice 2% of growth. Because I think on average, 2% a year is the projected growth for each company, their targets.
Yeah, most big companies, you're not getting 500%, 50%.
Even 10% is a lot.
Bro,
That's a
on
lot.
our
That's a
construction
lot.
stuff, it's like we're doing 3 to 5% on jobs. But when you're doing $20 million jobs, that's
It adds up.
you know what I mean?
It adds up.
So it's like, but yeah, no. When your margins are slim, that's the only thing I'm saying. Like when your margins are already slim, where do you cut the fat from?
Yeah. Well, so
From the bottom.
I brought up the thing with the striking the two, like with that like striking culture mentality, because like, is it only okay to go on strike because you're an employee there, or like in a act of like of maybe not striking, but like standing against the power? Because if like you found out that basically everyone decided that they're going to say, no, we're not going to pay our payments back. So you got like hundreds of thousands, millions of people saying,
Behind that, brother.
we're not going to pay for it. Is that strike the same? I mean, or that like type of like sticking up and saying no, is that like the same?
The sentiment is the same, but the result is different because we're not in a union, so we have no power. And we haven't been paying that back for like 10 years. So it's like, I could see it from both sides here in that.
It's different though, because
It is different.
I think it's way different.
You signed up to pay it
Yeah,
back.
Yeah.
we did sign
With the job, it's only you pay me for what I do.
But if we haven't been paying
If I
you back
don't
for the
work, you
10
ain't gonna
years,
pay me.
if we haven't been paying that 10 years, if they wiped it, it would be no different. But then are these companies, are they like waiting like little roaches? Like, oh yes, we're going to wait for these payments to resume. Yes.
Well,
yes.
I
But
imagine
just because you can't see the effect of you not paying it back doesn't mean someone's not affected.
No, like that
100%
whole
people are
those
affected.
those loan companies, they'll feel it, and you know they'll have to chop the bottom line too. It's a ripple effect, so it does affect.
and like
not
those
just-
loan companies are banks, and a lot of it's also federal money.
It's-
and like, you know, if you didn't take a private loan out, then it's all federal money. It's all
That's the
So,
whole
like-
thing on me is just like you took the money saying I was going to pay it back. That's just the whole thing to me.
yeah.
It's not like you took the money and they said you may not have to pay it back.
Do you think
You have
part?
a chance that you don't.
You think part of that though also goes to like in the 90s at least, it was like go to school, go to college, get a job. You will go to college and you'll come out and you'll have a job. So I think a lot of people signed up for like those 30, 40, 50,000 or whatever, how much they owe, because they were told like
Yeah,
basically,
absolutely.
you know. So it's like legally doesn't mean shit, but they signed their name to it. Like, okay, I'll do this with the you know, thought basically like, oh, this will be easy to pay back because I'm going to take these skills and I've been told that I'm going to have a job. And the majority of people did the thing, did all the stuff, got the skills, came out, and there was no job. Or there was a job, but it's in a very, like, you know, low paid area.
I'm privileged and lucky to have found a job in the industry that I was trained for, and that's not the reality for a lot of other people. My loan was government subsidized. I don't know about your.
Same. And like to your point, like it is like it's still you signed up for it.
Yeah,
so, like
for sure.
I'm not
At the
sitting.
end of the
I'm not
day.
sitting here saying it's fucked up or it's not fair or anything like that. But those type of things do make me wonder. Like, you know, will like when that stuff doesn't get paid back.
2008. What do you think happened when people said, "Well, you gave me this house. You said I could afford it.
Yeah.
Well,
You knew I couldn't afford it. So what happens when I don't pay it?"
But like in terms of these
That's what
banks,
happens.
these banks were taking these high risk,
Loan,
you know,
yeah.
That's how they
mortgages
make
out.
money.
They promised to pay the money back,
But that's
But
why
they
it was also
didn't.
insured.
and then they got bailed out. Why can't we get a bailout?
Well, if that's the case, then
Because the people
money
are the
should
back.
be irrelevant.
Money,
But
it
isn't
is
it, though?
irrelevant, but
Like,
To the sense of that, we should just all be allotted to do what we do, and money isn't traded like
well,
that.
all right. So
Because if we can sign up for something that we're saying we're going to pay back and willingly not have to pay it back,
but wasn't that what the banks did? And then they didn't have to pay.
I don't think it was exactly like that. I think it was loopholed more than just them signing up and then saying, "I don't want to do this no more." That's what I'm saying.
Well, no, I mean, okay, maybe not saying I don't want to do this anymore, but you still owe what you owe. That doesn't change it. And if you don't have the money, like for the loans, for student loans, I don't think it's like you did it, you signed it, you owe what you owe. If you don't have your money, so what?
Well, okay, then
We're
what
not-
happens when you don't have your money? Then you just owe more money, right?
I don't actually.
You just
yeah,
owe more.
interest
You owe
accrues.
more. It's
Yeah.
not like it goes away even if you don't ever pay it. You just owe more.
But I mean, I guess it just comes to the thing. Like, yeah, corporations are held to different standards than individuals, even though I think they're both as responsible and they're as valuable in their own ways to the economy. But
I get it.
Held
We
to
just
different
can't be a thriving society going off of, well, the government did this, so I'm going to do that. That's not how it works. We know that's not
but
how it
isn't
works.
it like I
Isn't that
feel
the
like
what-ifism?
a
It
government?
is, but that's not how
Yeah,
the world works. So
but-
let's live in
No.
reality.
But shouldn't the government be held to like, oh, that's ideally that's the model that we should follow? Like,
But that's
oh,
not
if the government,
reality, though. So if we do live in reality, when you sign up for something,
yeah, but the government does the same thing. If we follow that model, then like
but I'm talking about in reality. In reality, the government does that same stuff, but what happens to them?
nothing.
So what happens with people when they don't do that? They owe
Something.
more money. Exactly. I'm saying when you live in reality, I can live in the fairy tale world too. Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
sure.
but have you all heard of the French Revolution? What do y'all think about that? How often?
Wait, hey, no, that's a good one because
How
that's a
often
good
do you
point.
think?
French Revolution. No, with that's a good point. If Washington and his boys lost, what would have happened?
You mean the American Revolution?
What would have happened? Because they were traitors. They were going against the regime, right?
Drinking
So
a lot
what
more
would have
tea?
happened? What would have
perhaps?
happened if they lost?
We would be part of the monarchy.
English, French, probably more rather than a country, it'd probably be like whatever we would evolve from separate colonies. We'd probably be
From them,
countries,
yeah.
but maybe like instead of one country, it'd be like 3, 4, 5, 6.
So
or
in
something.
that sense, you got to do something like that. You got to fight all the way back, and they were
Well,
willing to die about it. I
No,
don't
that's what I'm
think
saying.
people
There's
are-
no such thing as a bloodless revolution.
That's what I don't think people are willing to die over them not paying their student loans, but
But collectively,
I just don't think so.
So okay, true, they're not. But if you don't pay your student loan back and you don't pay it, if you miss, where'd it go? 270 days,
Goes into default.
it goes into default. And then once it goes into
Start
default,
accruing interest on every payment you miss.
no, everything's due immediately.
Oh,
So that could, and also wages, social security benefits, everything gets withheld until you pay it back.
so they start garnishing wages.
Yeah. So at that point, and they want the money immediately, I guess it says. I mean, and it also lowers your credit score to what
course,
that is. But I
that's
think those
obvious.
other pieces, though, that's enough to. I mean,
maybe
of course, that
fuck up your life.
that
somehow.
also basically
That's what it's meant to do.
Yeah.
Like if you don't,
Yeah.
if you say you're gonna do this and you don't, we're trying to fuck your shit up.
it's kind of funny because you'll fuck that person's life up, but you still don't get the money.
No, they don't care
And
about the money.
you end up spending more money to like
money-
punish them.
The money to them is irrelevant. You already didn't pay it.
But I think that's the point, though. Like
it's
at this point,
it's carceral and punishment.
at this point, they don't have the money. No one.
They're not going to get it. They're not
And
gonna get it.
if you don't pay, you still don't have the money. So if that person can't pay, and then you fuck them up more, now they're worse for society.
Welcome to America.
And unless you euthanize, I suppose. I don't know.
Euthanize?
I mean, I'm not gonna
Wait,
say.
you weren't going to say euthanize my student loans, were you?
No, unfortunately
Okay,
not.
I didn't think
But
so,
I'm
but-
just saying, if like the point is, you basically, want you scar somebody down to nothing, they become living on the streets.
Well,
You
this
don't really
this
give them an
this
option.
comes
It's
kind
not
of
good
like I could make kind of like
Can't do too much.
a
after
comparison like
at all.
it costs
That's it.
it costs more to keep somebody in jail like for being homeless like keep them in
That. It
prison.
costs us more.
Yeah.
They
Yes,
make money.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
That's
but
what-
then it does to like house them and give them social services.
Yeah.
It costs more to imprison them than it does to.
Yeah.
So and it's because the prison industrial complex, like that's just how it is in America. Like the American dream only applies to some. I thought you were going to contradict me right there.
It doesn't apply to
Well-
some. That's why I say I live in reality. I don't
know.
live in the fairy tale lands of make believe. I have sadly have to live in the realm.
Well,
of
but like
reality.
sometimes you're like, oh, like it's the American dream is possible for anybody if you.
It is.
You have said it,
yeah.
is.
but
Of course, there's
No,
caveats with
I mean,
everything.
I don't know if it's that's the thing. I don't know if it's possible, but it's seeable. It's
well, but the
it's
American
available
dream,
to
the
understand.
American dream, like not even like a
you can
house.
understand it.
You can get it. You can look at it. You can be like, oh, that's the American dream, and I want it. But is it really?
Well, the American dream is different to different people. Like,
Different to different
I don't think it
people.
means like a house and a car
To
anymore.
most,
I
though,
think
it just means stability. To
I think it
be
means
okay.
and, like,
Opportunity.
opportunity.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you have
Opportunity.
like you can take your whatever the hell it is and sell it here, and there's an opportunity you make a life off of it, which is kind of I think what the whole point was. But I don't think that's available to everyone. And
No.
like, yeah, I do have a
Not
question.
readily.
Not readily. Yeah, it's not just bestowed upon you. Like, you don't like just get like, oh yeah, here you go.
generational wealth.
Yeah.
Baby. That's what we need to build.
I have a question for you because we were talking about a couple of weeks now. I think like you getting in trouble for something that you did a long time ago, and like the
Shout out,
idea,
Ronnie.
the idea of you like whatever it is you do and no one knows about it, and you do that thing, and then
Okay.
it comes back and gets you.
Okay.
Does that also apply to murders?
What do you explain a little more? Give me a
So
scenario.
like if you murdered someone a long
What a
time
pitiful
ago.
amount to pour into your.
That was so sad. I hope that I'm just focusing on that. If someone murders another person like 30 years ago, right, and then they completely change their lives, but then forensics comes out, or
but
for
the
some
intent
reason
was they murdered them. They wanted
it was
to.
murder. They did it.
Like,
That was
they
it.
ate them too.
Huh?
They ate them
No,
after
no,
that shit.
just murder. Just murder.
Okay.
No cannibalism
No,
involved.
no, it's
No
just
need for that.
just murder,
Okay.
and they murder the person, and then like 30 years, either some forensics
They
or
totally changed.
and they totally changed. Dude, but they murdered someone.
Who'd they murder?
Somebody that was
My cousin.
no, somebody that was like in
Your
like
cousin.
a known person. They murdered a known
JFK.
person. Not no.
RFK.
Yeah, so they murdered a known person. It's been known.
That's when we need courts. That needs to go to trial.
To figure out. So on that topic, the dude who shot Tupac got arrested for the murder
It's 27 years ago, right?
27 years ago.
Statute of limitations 25?
No,
30?
Not with murder.
Is it?
I don't think there's any.
Or
with
does it
murder.
matter in states?
It does matter.
It's all states.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he got fried because he thought he had immunity in California.
Oh,
Well, okay, California gave him what do they call it? A profit. And his dumbass thought that a profit meant immunity, and his
What is
dumbass thought that meant nationwide immunity.
What does that mean? A
'Cause he was in-
prophet?
A profit is something like, okay,
Muhammad?
no,
that's what I
Jesus?
thought.
like the DA would come up to you and be like, hey,
DA Jesus.
we're gonna give you this profit. Anything you tell us and that we can prove is true, and you don't lie to us, anything you say can't be used against you.
Oh wow.
Qualified immunity. Basically.
So he thought that by him getting that in California,
Yeah.
thought it was
It did. It
zip,
went everywhere.
like everywhere.
And it was happening in Nevada.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after he started talking, that's what literally relit up the whole. That's what the DA said.
Yeah.
They said the Vlad interview too.
Because
Specifically,
he was
they're
like actually talking about.
he said the whole thing,
That's great.
and he was on every platform saying the whole thing.
That's not smart.
Wow.
Even if you were like,
That's just
That's
wild.
that's why I said super sus, because I was like, he couldn't be that dumb. But then I thought about it, he could be that
He
dumb.
could be
Yes, you could be that
a lot
dumb.
of time has passed. 27 years ago. That's a long time.
Although, like, you don't think that, like, in general, somebody wouldn't come for your head, like. I don't know,
Well,
that's
because
kinda wild.
like, do you believe, or either of you believe it was orchestrated by the FBI? Kind of. No.
That guy wasn't. You saw Tupac and them stomp out his nephew hours before they freaking drove by on him.
I guess that would do it.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the murder itself, but the cover up.
Oh, probably. They probably knew.
Exactly.
Well, they
That
just
seems
like
like
look at
they
Fred
would've-
Hampton, Huey P. Newton. Like they
They
know his
knew.
whereabouts. They know what's
But
going
it
on.
was
with
one of
him.
those things. Maybe it was
That's a good point.
better to, not better, but
Let's not talk about it.
like
Because that's kind of crazy when you think about, like you say, his nephew got stomped out knowingly, and then somehow.
they're in the middle of a casino. It's all on casino
Yeah.
CCV. So it's every angle. Tupac and the entourage, like 10 fools stomping out one dude.
Yeah. And then magically, I'm saying, then miraculously, the person that shoots him, they can't figure out any of the connection, and no one says
Well,
anything.
he died 3 years after the Tupac thing. So they're saying that the real shooter actually died like 3 years after. His nephew died like 3 years after, and like some more gang stuff.
Oh shit!
So he actually died before the police knew anything maybe that was going on. So maybe that's why they dragged their feet. But then with him just blabbing his mouth, he was saying something like, "Oh yeah, we had the car in the garage until like."
Did everything match up? Like all of his stuff matched up with like his statements. They matched
Wow.
up with like whatever traces or whatever.
He was just
they could find.
blabbing, just stupid.
Damn, stool pigeon type shit. But like, you're not an informant.
And then
yet
when they
you're-
take him down, because there was 4 people in the car,
Mm-hmm.
him, his nephew, and 2 other guys. His nephew's dead. He's getting locked up now, and now he's saying, "Oh well, you get me, you got to get this other."
Damn.
Okay, that's a little stupid.
Bruh. And these are now like dudes in their 50s, 60s.
Right. That's wild.
I mean, I guess like at least you
wild.
lived your life till now to get fucking locked up.
But
Because
to lock yourself up like that.
yeah, no, that's just.
I mean, that's just ridiculous.
I would not advise anyone to do that.
Like, what'd you get in here for?
Unfortunate.
Well, because
I literally did it to myself.
you've watched. I haven't, but you've watched the documentaries and all the media and stuff. Like, do you? And you've seen the bodyguards, like their testimonial. Do you believe what they say?
For the Tupac or Biggie one?
Tupac, specifically Tupac,
Yeah. He seemed like a little hothead.
because it seems to match up pretty well.
It doesn't seem like they're fabricating a lot of it.
I mean, because they were. I think one of the guys said that he was working with the FBI to like while Tupac was alive and everything, and they want.
Yeah, he was like a cop, or he was an ex-cop or something.
But he started to he's like, oh shit, I really like this guy. I really like Tupac, and so then he was like,
Damn.
I want to steer him away from like.
Yeah,
Like
it seemed
steer him,
it's-
go to Atlanta, move to Atlanta instead, and connect with your like, because Tupac was planning to allegedly get more back to like Afeni Shakur, like his revolutionary roots, like Black Panther politics and everything. He was like he wanted to delve into that more and kind of like he was very much about wearing his heart on his sleeve. What he was about. He did go to the Rhode Island art school or something like that.
He's like born like Maryland.
He's not as California raised as
No, he went to art school. That's where he met Jada.
yeah. That was a good movie. No, wait, no, I'm thinking.
Not- yeah.
No, I'm thinking. I'm thinking Poetic Justice. My bad.
But,
But yeah.
that's at the same time.
Yeah, but then like they were saying like he was about to get into that phase of his life, and so the bodyguard that was working with the FBI allegedly wanted to steer him like,
He was on his Nipsey Hussle.
yeah, get him back, get him to Atlanta, and then avoid Las Vegas. That whole thing, maybe focus on that, but then
Because
that
I mean,
happened.
Snoop said he tells stories about hopping on. I think think a PJ with Tupac and Suge, and he said he thought he was going to die the whole flight.
Everybody hated Suge, apparently, right?
But he said that they were beefing. This was right at the time they were beefing.
Damn.
And they told them, hey, you're going to fly with us. But he wouldn't let any of Snoop's security on the plane.
Well,
Jeez. I'm like, I'm
Suge
gonna die.
is
So he said he was just on the plane, just like, this is going to be it. Someone got to pull a little something out.
well, because we were talking about like the crime bosses. The crime bosses, they do like one or two symbolic murders, and they don't got to do
it by
nothing
their
else.
own hands.
But like from what I've heard, like Suge Knight was very hands on with a lot of incidents allegedly.
We seen him run over somebody.
Well, and
We
then
did
like
see
you
him
hear
run over
about like
somebody.
him holding over somebody off the balcony of
Vanilla Ice.
yeah, and it's like
Crazy.
he's a scary guy to be beefing with. Like, cause like yeah, he's got power and he's got pull, but like he's a big guy.
He's a big guy, yeah.
He's a
fuck
big
you up.
guy.
Stature-wise, he's big.
Yeah.
And intimidating, like all the qualities that you do not want in like a nemesis type of figure. So
Final boss.
yeah, final boss. Woo!
Damn, he would be a pretty epic final boss. His fatality just run over you.
He just fatality just takes off his red
He's like
shirt.
he's like a
Fatality.
Dark Souls final boss.
Yeah.
Jeez.
His beard's got fucking extra mouths.
Plus 5 to attack, and then he like dies and he gets plus 10.
Yeah. Does it? You're going to Atlanta. Speaking of Atlanta, you're going to Georgia. Does it rain? Do they get the hurricane season like down? Like I mean it honestly. Like, do they do that? Does it?
I thought hurricane season was over.
Because I'm just
They don't live in Tornado Alley, Sean.
They are very different things. Yes.
Yeah, no, they get they've been having bad weather.
They have?
Yes.
Do they
lot of
get?
rain.
Does it flood there?
Not flood, no, but they do get they've been getting all 4 seasons, so they'll be getting snow.
Crazy.
I didn't even know that Atlanta got snow.
It normally wouldn't.
What's the weather like in October? Like when you're going?
It'd be like fall, but it'd be like humid because they'll probably be like off and on thunderstorms.
So you're gonna get the rain.
It depends.
But just
Do you know any other place in the country that's gotten a lot of rain recently?
I mean, just the East Coast, right? Up north.
Specifically, like, is there anywhere that's gotten like a deluge of
It's a great word.
of rainstorms?
I don't know. I haven't been keeping up.
Well, is it Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, declared a state of emergency for?
They don't got Rudy no more?
It's been a while.
I seen his mugshot.
But he's been gone. Yeah.
Rudy with the drip.
Rudy with the
No, but she
doolies?
declared a state of emergency for New York City. And we've seen videos of the Great Flood of Brooklyn. Like that's just crazy right now. Shout out Grace. I hope you're surviving out there. You got a canoe.
Casey Neistat said it wasn't that bad though. He said social media beefed it up.
That's what it always is.
Yeah, because he was out there. He said it was flooded in a few specific areas.
I mean, that's generally how floods,
I mean, but yeah, like
No, but the internet kind of made it seem like all downtown was fucked.
I mean,
Well, do you remember, like, what was it? Like,
He said that the Katrina one, he's like, or whichever. He's like,
Yeah.
it was not that.
Okay, yeah. Because that one, when it was
he
like
said they
the water.
had no power
Yeah.
for a week in
Yeah, the
downtown.
water was like all under the subways and stuff then.
It was still like that, but in certain places.
Was it? Sorry, I keep on.
Oh no, go
cutting you
ahead,
off.
go ahead.
Was it uptown, downtown?
Manhattan. I don't know.
It was
area.
on Manhattan.
It was Manhattan.
Was it Brooklyn or like?
Brooklyn's got
It was across
heavy
the.
flooding.
Yeah,
I think it was Brooklyn.
I don't. Does Brooklyn flood? Like,
does now.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I went to New York like 2 years ago with Jimmy. Shout out JBD.
JBD.
And it was a week after some crazy flooding in. We stayed in Manhattan. We stayed in Chelsea, and
Chelsea boots.
we went.
Smiles.
We were hanging out in like just like the local bars and stuff around Chelsea, meatpacking, whatever. And the bars we went to, I was like talking to the bartenders. I was like, "Oh, I didn't think you guys would be open because like I was seeing all the shit, like all these fucking rats swimming in the subways and shit like that." And they're like, but it's like they get that like once a year, every other year, and like they're I guess not used to it, but like when it happens, like they have all these flood recovery teams
Yeah, they had
where
dudes
like
out there that were doing something.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then like but they things that are below street level, like a lot of the bars are below street level, and like they were flooded, like 6 inches of water in the place, but they're so efficient and they're so ready for it. Like everything was like, except for a few like businesses here and there, like everything was like operating 100% just like usual.
I think it was like that. The New York by 6:45 p.m. that same day, it was
gone.
Basically.
Well, they have a lot of drainage and stuff, but like it can build up by like trash, whatever.
They drink their water so that probably fucks up their water. I'm imagining,
unless it's I was thinking more of like the overflow was like sewage water.
Yeah, I think so, but like it's the tap water. Like people drink tap over there.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And it does taste good.
It does.
It's treated.
It's from
it's upstate.
Upstate.
Because like
it's just because our drinking water here is reclaimed water.
Well, it's also comes from like 4 states away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
not our water. I build water plants, bro.
No, but like, it doesn't generate water. It's treating water that gets in, and that's not to say everywhere in California, but no, we get it from.
We get some water, a lot coming down from Kern, yes.
Yeah, like that's the whole thing. But like, I mean, a lot of it goes to agriculture, but
a lot of that does, yeah.
But it's also, I think, the infrastructure in between different neighborhoods is so bad. Like
Kern, Kern.
Oh, I know that, bruv.
But yeah, like when I was living in Hyde Park, I didn't drink that water. That shit looked like regularly. Like I'd turn it on and it'd be brown for like a couple seconds before it'd go clear.
It's reclaimed.
No, but I'm saying also like the infrastructure, the pipes are old that you need to replace, but they're letting it go. I think the water in general is not bad. It's the pipes.
That could make more sense.
Yeah, no. It's just like, when a pipe bursts in downtown, they're replacing that section, but you really need to replace the whole thing, Yeah,
and our water is bad, bro, because basically they just put bleach all in it. It's just other chemicals.
You don't like bleach?
Yeah, and they do
It's a great anime series, I heard. Okay.
They do
you like anime?
It gets filtered, but still, bro. It's like shit water.
Yeah, they also put chlorine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mad chlorine.
Fluoride.
Chlorine's for the taste.
I mean, don't you ever jump in the pool and
just drink a bunch?
Drink that water.
I mean, I actually, when I was a kid, I remember I used to love drinking water from the hose. I'm like, I like that rubber taste. Tastes like summer.
You get hit with the hot water. It's been in there for longer.
Oh, you're like, the first like minute is just like
do you guys
piping
ever
on.
drink hose water?
Not anymore.
Hose?
I just don't even.
Hose
That's
water.
what we were just talking about.
Oh, hose.
Oh, hose
water.
Hose water.
Hose water
From
like a garden hose.
Oh,
that's what.
Oh,
I thought you were talking about something else.
Oh, hose water.
Hose water.
Squirt.
Yeah.
That's what.
We got blankets.
You ever drink water from a sprinkler?
It tastes
hard.
funky.
Yeah. No,
I've done that when I was like really thirsty and shit.
It's just hurting
Pulls
the
out
back
the-
of your throat.
Like it's mostly in your face. It's like a money shot that hurts.
Dude,
yeah, hose water is nasty.
that just opened up my eyes though what we can do for a future job. Because it's supposed to be a really bad rain season here again, like with El Nino and stuff. Remember how last year like it rained crazy? It's supposed to do it again.
Para los niños.
We'll just go door to door to all the rich houses in Rancho and tell them that we'll flood proof their houses.
How do we do that?
I don't know. That's where you come in because you're the guy that knows.
No, but you're the idea guy.
Yeah, come on,
you
guy.
You come up with the ideas.
I got a few ideas I have to riff. I don't think they're gonna like it.
Move.
We'll buy your house and sell it for you.
I'll buy your house.
That was one of them.
Oh, you want to do some DJ Envy type shit?
Move. I was thinking,
We'll buy your house.
Fuck, try to make them Bubble Boy. Try to put the fucking.
Nah, dude, you just got to build a little.
We'll put your house on stilts in the middle of California.
Some Rumpelstiltskins. Oh, that would be hilarious. Put someone's 5,000 square foot house on stilts.
I mean, it's possible.
It's possible, but I mean, do it janky.
Yeah.
So
from Home Depot lumber and shit.
That side seems to have like 20. Why does this side only have 3?
Twisted 2x4s, and it's just 2x4s and nails.
That's all we could afford, to be honest with you.
A couple spots is just PVC pipe
taped.
It's like because you gave us
taped together.
You gave us 50 grand, but we really wanted at least 25 grand in profit, so we spent like 20 grand on lumber.
And we didn't want to pay people, so
we did it ourselves.
And of course,
you know who we hired.
the people at Home Depot. And we also got the fasteners from Home Depot, so they're not the greatest. I give you 5 to 10 years max on this shit.
But so you should probably sell.
You should probably sell, and your house is going to be devalued.
Honestly, you probably shouldn't have signed that contract. I'm telling you this as a friend after you signed it.
Turns out
Isn't that what the government does, Josh? They come back after you sign.
Snoop onto them as they snoop onto us.
Hey, remember that John Hancock you gave us?
turns out.
Yeah, so about that.
I don't got it, sir. Brian, give me my money.
Give me my money, Brian.
Brian. Give me my
Where's
money.
my money?
You've been ducking me, Brian.
Where you been? Where's my
The
money?
mustache was going to throw me off, Brian.
Brian. Wait, where's my...
Throws him down the stairs. Oh, your money's doing.
Shoots both of his knees.
Where's my money, Brian?
That'd be me.
Where's
Give me
my
money? See, in that situation, that's the government, and you guys are the loans.
That's basically like Wayne Brady having to choke a bitch.
You wake up after the PCP's worn off, which is school and the diploma.
Riverside, motherfucker.
Turns out this doesn't do anything.
Well, we thought it was in your best interest to finish school.
I
I mean, honestly, a high school diploma ain't
Oh
shit.
my good. Now
I went to bed
I mean,
and I woke up feeling the exact same
it's
way.
not nothing, but then to those people that don't have it, it's like everything.
It's something. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But then to people who do have it, it's almost nothing.
There's a lot of white collar jobs that you will that you just won't get.
a lot.
There's like a lot of white collar.
Well, but then at the same time, you can just make shit up. People don't check into
100%.
that. Like, people will check your
And
job
also-
references, but they will not check your
Sadly,
diploma.
though, this
Or I
is
mean,
gonna
your
be a blanket statement. They're
degree.
not the ones smart enough to think to do something like that, though.
But like, why would they though? Because that costs money.
no, I mean no.
They're
He's
gonna-
talking about
no,
the
no.
people that are making the. You're talking about the people that don't have the skills, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
They wouldn't.
They
Well,
wouldn't think to do
for
that.
the people that are
to be like, I have these skills.
For the people that are
I have
listening,
a certain set of skills.
But I don't even know exist.
list. Fluff that resume, baby. Fluff that resume, because it doesn't matter where you go to school. It just matters where you said you went to school.
It's like the meme you said where you say you lie on your resume and the fool's doing the electrical stuff. Like, psst, psst.
This has a lot of on-the-job training, right? Because I don't.
I need a lot.
After I signed
Oh,
the contract, I'll tell you, I don't know shit about shit.
So when's lunch?
I like the YMCA Kung Fu one. That he's like, he lied on the resume. He's like, karate. It's pretty funny. Don't lie, people.
Or if you are gonna lie,
Do it to corporation.
then make sure you got enough to
Steal
back
groceries.
it up, so you don't get caught.
I mean, don't steal groceries, but don't not steal groceries.
I don't know how much of that Catch Me If You Can movie was
It's all false. I just heard about it.
really.
Nothing was. Like that guy that the story's based on. After that movie was released, he recanted and said that was all made up.
No.
Ain't that some shit?
Is Blow real?
Blow's real.
I know it's real, but is the movie
There's
real?
Like
Yeah, but I bet there's a lot of stuff that isn't even in the movie.
Yeah.
That's like
Wolf of Wall Street.
that's real.
He says that's pretty real.
For the most part, yeah.
Belfler?
I mean,
yeah, Belfort.
Damn,
Belfort.
just that like the fact that just doing blow in your work day, like just I mean, I guess they used to do it in basketball though.
Still.
Did you see that one clip
Before
of that
game?
one?
I don't know about before
that
games.
one
Yeah.
prolific. He's a Hall of Famer. He was like, there
Darryl
wasn't a
Strawberry.
no. He's a football player.
Oh.
He was like, there wasn't a game where I wasn't high.
Darryl Strawberry said that about baseball. He said
No, but he was coked out. No, I was just talking about. I was talking about weed. Like
Wait.
this guy was
Oh,
like,
really?
It was well, Matt Barnes has said it recently. He said
He's blazed every game.
yeah.
but he was a dog, so it didn't even matter.
That's
He probably went easier. It's
crazy.
probably better for him
That's
to
crazy.
smoke.
He said who was it?
I wonder
Steven
if-
Jackson. He says them too. Like they were
Really?
Who was it? I know who you're talking about though.
It was recent, and it was like it was a Hall of
freaking-
Famer.
Yeah, it's Tyson Chandler.
No,
Is
that's
that
basketball.
That's a
player.
basketball player. That's
Oh,
a
I
white
thought
dude.
that's what we're-
No wait.
No, he's a black dude. The
Yeah.
big beard.
That's what I was.
Oh,
I
I'm
thought
thinking.
we were talking about- I thought we were talking
I'm
about
thinking
basketball.
Chandler Parsons. No, I'm talking
Chandler
about
Parsons. Is
No,
what it is.
that's white dude.
Tyson Chandler.
Well, how old is the football player? Like, when was he playing?
Like Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, or are you talking like way older than?
No. This is like he probably retired
Richard
like
Sherman,
recently.
Yeah, I know all those fools are smoking, dude. It helps with the CT. Like for real, for real.
Combat
I don't think
training?
it. I don't think it like
Concussion tactics.
CTE is
Because your
some-
eyes don't move. Your
No, CTE.
something
concussion. I thought it was
I can't-
concussion.
It's
no,
not concussion.
It's not concussion. It's something about the
Transponder.
something encephalitis. It ends traumatic encephalitis. I think that's what it
Cranium
is.
encephalitis.
Cranial
Chronic
tran-
traumatic encephalopathy.
There you go. CTE.
Encephalitis.
It's like shaken baby syndrome.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Trauma to the head.
Yeah, basically.
You know what's crazy while you're looking that up is there was talking about like old soccer, how they used to use the leather. Fucking, and they were just kicking it and getting hit in the head face, and they had it. Like all those dudes. It's like the same thing.
The shoes they were wearing.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Did you send the Maradona video?
Oh, he did blow
Where
on
he
the
did
pitch.
where he's just like warming up on the pitch and doing like front rolls and stuff, and he's just yacked out. You can tell.
Shit happens, man.
I mean, it's a hell of a ride if you can be yacked out and win a World Cup trophy.
Look at Dennis Rodman.
Just look at him.
He had to drag that fool from Vegas.
That was
in
one of the
finals.
greatest stories when he missed the game because he forgot it was. He thought
I don't know if did he miss a game?
he missed a game. Yeah, he missed a game. Yeah,
And then like Jordan had to go get him.
yeah.
Like, dude.
Oh man. Well,
Oh dang, Yankees got eliminated. That's not a surprise.
I feel like that's it.
I think that's all, dude. There's so much on Bleacher Report, which I feel like that's where I saw it, but it's like I think this is maybe like a little more than a week ago, and I'm like,
Oh, you're
it's-
looking
it's-
for the-
It's just so
this
like
too
they got
much.
so much shit. Their social media teams like they got a lot of work to do.
Do you want to do the outro?
Yeah, let's get out of here, guys. One thing I want to point out is
Only one.
is there a way, I think we should post about this more. We've been making a playlist for all the shit we've been talking about, the music we've been listening to.
It's really
It's
good.
posted.
y'all.
Yeah, it's really
They
good.
are
I'll be
pretty
honest
good.
with you. We did one for
Eclectic
August,
as hell.
September, but I never posted on the Linktree, so that was like just pretty much for us. But it's on our Linktree now. You can find that on our YouTube. You can find it on Instagram. I'll find ways. We'll try and repost it and stuff. But we got some.
Take a listen. Try to figure out who put each song on there.
Yeah, if you can't read, because it definitely doesn't say our names next to each track, but
show a
it's
picture.
some good shit. You don't have a profile picture on your
It's a big old S.
Spotify.
Superman.
Yeah. Why didn't you see my face?
Oh, did you add one?
No,
Mhm.
you don't gotta see my face. I don't know these demons, these devils, these.
Yeah, they just have your Instagram account with your government name on it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fine.
enough. But they don't need to see my face.
I mean, they could.
Besides
They could.
all the face.
They could
stuff in
easily
there.
find me who I is.
You
Who
should
I
just
was.
put a almost never logo on your Spotify account.
Okay.
But yeah, everybody give that a listen. There's some good shit for October already. It'll be October by the time you guys listen to this. Thank you everybody for your likes, comments, subscribes if you're a sexy, beautiful person.
And even if you're not,
Yeah, you know.
we're equal opportunists.
I'm not, but I
shout,
appreciate
shout outs. Like anybody you guys want to thank? This
Oh,
week?
shout out to my mom. Happy birthday.
Oh, shout out!
You're not gonna-
Miss
Corey.
Pickering.
Yeah, it's Corey.
It's already a thing. Sorry, Corey. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's not gonna watch this. She asked me. I was like,
Still say no.
Yeah.
no. I just said you can
Find it.
if you want to go find it.
You find it.
But this isn't.
Happy
I'm not gonna.
birthday, Miss Corey.
Yep.
Mrs. Corey.
That's it.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
Ooh.
Shout out my girlfriend for bringing me to that show last night.
Shout her out.
That was dope. Did we ever see Lil Dragon at Coachella or something? I feel like maybe we have, but
Yes.
there were so many
I
substances
wasn't
that I
into
don't
Little
remember.
Dragons.
I feel like you would have been into him like last night just because of like
The vibe.
Yeah, the vibe, the musicianship.
Dragon
Do it.
Tales.
I never listened to him enough, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
The guy who was on keys, he would do like, I feel like it was only on live shows, but he would drag these notes out and it would almost get to like a discordant, like cacophony, like off key. But then right when the chorus kicks in, it goes right back in the key, and it sounds great, but it sounds like that's off key. And then he's like, "Oh, I see what you're doing." It was great. It was
That's
great.
cool. That's a cool way
It was
to
on
link
point.
songs.
Yeah. just like an extra live show type deal. But shout out Phil's brother. Shout out Phil. Phil's in Missouri, Kansas City, some sort of shit.
Shout out Philly. Oh, I want to shout Casey out. He hit me up.
Yeah, shout out Casey. Thanks for all your kind words.
And that's all.
All right, everybody. You can find us on all the socials at Almost Never Pod on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And thanks, Trey. All our audio stuff is up to date on Apple and Spotify. You're doing a great job.
I'm doing a little bit more than the bare minimum.
As an entertainer, you're doing a great job.
I'm entertained.
Entertain me every week.
Are you not entertained?
All right, we'll see how entertaining we are next week.
It won't be entertaining, I can tell you.
It'll be good.
I'm gonna be unhinged.
We're just gonna start doing ridiculous things to take place of the. So you're gonna start eating hot wings for fun.
I mean, you do get like a certain high off of like really heat.
You do
hot
get the
stuff.
heat.
Yeah,
the head rush.
not the desirable one.
Oh, but your stomach gets quite a rush, and then your
Next
lower
day.
intestine gets a rush as well.
Super, just all gratitude to everybody that's been watching and
Thank you,
commenting and all that. For real, it's
appreciate
important
it.
and we really appreciate it. Share and
Take it serious, I swear. I just be joking.
Trey never jokes. So serious.
he's actually everything he says is very serious.
100%.
Yeah, he's super black and white, so it's all just 100%.
Why you always gotta make it black and white, Sean?
He's super purple and brown.
Okay, that's better.
Cut
Wait.
and dry.
Am I brown?
Wet and slick.
I mean, I suppose you're brown.
Brown. You're tan.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
tan.
Okay.
I mean,
Because sometimes when they're like, oh, black and brown.
You're not that brown, but you brown.
I'm brown enough, right? Beige.
wait, but I'm brown enough. I'm brown enough.
You're not that brown
Come on.
they're referring to, but it's like
I get oppressed. I'm marginalized sometimes. I mean, but I get like the positive stereotypes from Asians and stuff.
You're smart.
Yeah, I use that to my advantage.
Math, science,
Stealing
comments and stuff.
I mean, not stealing stuff.
He
I'd
would
never steal
never
stuff,
do that.
'cause that's bad.
Everyone
Josh.
gives the checks to Josh to split. He's like, use a calculator.
Apps
Why'd
for
you
that.
give me this?
Why did you give me this?
Take the money and run, baby. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Later.
Sober October. Holla.
Damn.